Hey there, Tarot family. How are you? How are you? Sending you so much love today. Whenever you're watching this, day, night, or evening, this is a timeless tarot reading. Today, we're going to be looking into your ideal career path. We've got some oracle cards. We're going to be using the tarot, of course. I am excited, so let's go ahead and just get into it. There are 3 piles for you to choose from today. Make sure you use your intuition to choose the pile for you. All of the timestamps are going to be listed down below in the description box. There will be 2 timestamps for each reading. The first timestamp will be for the identifiers, which is where we use our lip bowl, and then the second timestamp will be for the actual reading itself. So right here we've got pile 1, here's pile 2, and then last but not least we've got pile 3. Go ahead and meditate on it. If you need to pause the video, now's a great time for you to do that. Whatever it is that you need to do in order to feel out which pile is right for you. And of course, if you're unsure, then the identifiers are always a really good way to help solidify your choice. As you guys probably know, if you've seen me before, we use the identifiers as a way to help you to certify, I guess might be the right word, certify or reassure yourself that you've chosen the right pile. So yeah, I will see you guys at your reading in just a little bit. See you soon. Hey there, pile 1. Welcome. If you chose this first card here, these are going to be your identifiers for this reading. So let's go ahead and put our little vampire girl over there. And let's get our identifiers out. So the way that these work, oh, there's a little hair in here. It's one of my dog's pieces of hair. He is like a long hair kind of dog, so sometimes I'll find his hair places gross. You probably didn't need to know that, but maybe that's an identifier for somebody. You never know. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Spirit, pile 1. Who are my pile 1 people? We're doing a reading about career today. Who are my pile 1 people? Who's in pile 1? While I'm doing this is a great time for you to hit the thumbs up button and to subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, it makes you and I more connected so that I can read your energy a little bit better. And when you like the video, it helps it to spread a little farther on YouTube so other people who may need to see it can find it. All right, Spirit, anybody else in pile 1? Who are my pile 1 peeps for this reading? Who are my pile 1 peeps? Anybody else in pile 1? All right, so the way that these work is that at least one of the things in one of these slips should be like familiar to you, should be significant to you somehow. It could even just be showing up in your life like over the past couple of days, weeks, or months, but it would have to be in a way that like you recognized it. So like, let's say that there was a song from your childhood that you used to really like. And then suddenly over the past few weeks, you just keep hearing that song over and over again, right? In like the most random places. Then that would be, if that song shows up here, then that would be a sign to let you know that this is your reading. So that's just an example. Speaking of songs, we have here We Got Love by Tiana Taylor featuring Ms. Lauryn Hill. We have $20. Ooh. Okay, maybe you got like $20 in your pocket right now. Maybe you just spent $20. Maybe somebody just gave you or gifted you $20. Patti LaBelle. Maybe you are selling something for $20. Patti LaBelle, she's a singer. If you know, you know. You might have seen her or heard one of her songs recently. The Departed. That's a movie starring Jack Nicholson, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Matt Damon, and Vera Farmiga. Burn by Usher. I feel the need to say that The Departed is based in Boston. It's set in Boston. I don't know why I felt like I needed to say that. We've got here Jill Zarin. She was one of the original housewives of New York, Real Housewives of NYC. Jill and Bobby, if you know, you know. Bear Claw. So that could be the pastry. It also could be the character from New Girl. New Girl in general could just be significant. That character was played by Josh Gad. Who do we have here? We have gardenias. Ooh, so that could be like a favorite flower. Maybe you recently smelled some gardenias or somebody gave you some or something like that. Maybe like you just learned a whole bunch about gardenias. Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Any Avatar people in the house? We love that show on my channel. I just love that show for real. Neon by John Mayer. Neon. I don't remember how it goes, to be honest. Zach Brown Band, Colder Weather. Let's see. Teddy Pendergrass. He's an iconic singer as well, musician. What do we have here? New Orleans. I wanted at first to say New Orleans, and like that's just not right. It's just not right. As a person who used to live in New Orleans for like a really long time, I know for a fact that that's just not how they say it. But maybe you heard somebody say New Orleans recently, or just maybe like your mom says it that way or something. I don't know. Baby girl Lisa. So this could be a literal baby named Lisa, but also if you watch 90 Day Fiancé, you might know about baby girl Lisa. She was on that show for a really long time. If you know, you know. Airbnb. Okay, so maybe you're staying in an Airbnb right now. Maybe you have plans to stay at an Airbnb. Maybe you run or own Airbnbs or something like that. There we go. Entrepreneur, Airbnb entrepreneur. That could be you. You could just be an entrepreneur in general. You could be studying entrepreneurship, thinking about starting your own business, something like that. This is a career reading. So, okay. This is our second mention of New Girl here. We have Nick Miller from New Girl. So like I said, New Girl in general could just be important. That show, so Nick Miller, he's played by Jake Johnson, but that show does follow like a group of late 20 to early 30 somethings in LA as they're trying to figure out, you know, love, career, life, just in general. So I think it's pertinent that that came up right now. George Clooney, actor. So maybe he's like your favorite actor. Maybe you saw something with him in it recently. It could even have just been a commercial, something like that. Set It Off, starring Queen Latifah. It's a movie. And then, of course, Queen Latifah is an iconic actress slash rapper slash producer of films and television. If I Were You. That's a movie. I randomly saw it, I want to say like on Peacock or something, and it's not well known. I don't think any of the actors or actresses are very well known, but it was about this woman who finds out that her husband is cheating on her, and she ends up making friends with the mistress, not on purpose, but like kind of by happenstance, and they both agree. She doesn't tell the mistress who she is, and they both agree to like kind of control each other's lives for a couple weeks, like to let the other one make decisions for them. It's interesting. I liked it. It was worth a watch, in my opinion. Signs by Snoop Dogg, Justin Timberlake, and Charlie Wilson. That's a song. I'm not sure of what I see, just saying don't fuck with me. But I'm telling you this is a sign. All right, I don't know why I had to sing it in that like little falsetto, that little nasal voice, but I did. Evermore. Taylor Swift featuring Bon Iver. That's a song. So like the nasally voice might itself have been an identifier for you. Maybe you like to sing in a nasal voice, or maybe you have a nasally voice or something like that. Sexy Villain by Remy Wolf. Sexy Villain. All right. Cinna from the Hunger Games. That is a character, obviously, from the Hunger Games. In the movie, he was played by Lenny Kravitz. That character is Katniss's stylist. Yellow Jackets. That is a TV show. I believe it's on Showtime. It's about a girls' soccer team that gets lost in the wilderness on their way to finals or whatever. The number 8. So that would be like the month of August. That could be Leo and Virgo energy. You might be seeing 888. You could live on the 8th floor, 8th street. Your house number could be 8. You could be born on the 8th. There could be 8 people in your family, something like that. 8 could just be your favorite number. Yeah. We have here 8701, the album by Usher. So that's another 8. It's a number that starts with 8. So your house number could start with 8. I'll say that as well. Yeah, okay. Usher baby. Here we have Sufjan Stevens. I almost wanted to say Even Stevens, but like that's definitely not in this lip bowl. I know for a fact that it's not in this lip bowl, but Even Stevens could also be relevant somehow. That was a TV show on Disney Channel starring Shia LaBeouf and Christy Carlson Romano as Lewis and Ren Stevens, respectively. But Sufjan Stevens, he is a musician. All right, we have here Splinter by Spilltab. That's a song. I'm not gonna brave the winter and wear us thin to say we did. We did. We did. Sorry guys, not my best interpretation. Anniversary by Tony. So that's a song, but it also could like be somebody's anniversary, or it could be close to your anniversary or something like that. This also could be like a work anniversary. It doesn't have to be like romantic anniversary. Ted Mosby. Speaking of anniversaries, Ted Mosby is like the quintessential romantic. If you haven't seen How I Met Your Mother, that's the main character from that show, but he is definitely like a romantic. Nobody's Supposed to Be Here by Deborah Cox. That's a song. How did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. All right. I've tried this love thing for the last time. My heart says no. Nobody's supposed to be here. Go listen to that song if you don't know it, because it's strong. Ted Mosby is played by Josh Radnor. Sweet Love by Anita Baker. Okay. We got 2 love songs in a row. Interesting. Juicy by Doja Cat featuring Tyga. Definitely not a love song, but you know, she said, I keep it juicy, I eat that lunch. Is that the one where she's like, if you can see it from the front, wait till you see it from the back? Is that one? Maybe, I don't know. Young Dolph, R.I.P., rapper from Memphis, hometown hero. Aw, we miss you. Sad. Famous last words. Okay. What else do we have here? I'm gonna go with this one first. We've got here blackberries. So that could be actual blackberries, like the fruit, but it also makes me think of the BlackBerry phone. So take with that what you will. Beverly Hills, that could be actual Beverly Hills, but also the song by Weezer could be coming through as well. Or just the band Weezer in general. Beverly Hills. That's where I want to be. Gimme. Living in Beverly Hills. Okay, so Jessica Alba, Fantastic Four. The name Jessica in general could just be relevant since it is here in parentheses. Also, I said new girl energy was coming through very strong because it is. Jessica Day. She's the main character. She is the new girl of New Girl. Okay, played by Zooey Deschanel. So yeah, New Girl is coming through very strongly. Jessica Day, she was a teacher on that show. She taught a lot of different things, but yes, she was a teacher. Heart of Dixie. And then we have RB up in the corner for Rachel Bilson. That is a show about a New York City doctor who moves down south to run a family practice that was left to her by her estranged father. That show is so good. Honestly, I don't care what anybody says. I love that show. Go watch it. The Format, that's a band. Nate Rouse of the band Fun. That was his band before he was in Fun. And I love The Format too, so go check it out. Sorry if I'm being annoying right now, but the word annoying just came out. Maybe somebody called you annoying. Maybe things have just been kind of annoying lately. Maybe you've had an annoying day. Maybe you called somebody else annoying. 93 Till Infinity by Souls of Mischief. That's a song. So yeah, again, I just want to say if any of these things are significant to you in any way, if they've been showing up in your life recently, then that is an indicator that this reading is going to be for you per pile 1. Helena by My Chemical Romance. We've got... Oh, I want to also say RB, the initials, those could be relevant somehow. It also makes me think of Arby's, like, we've got the meats, that kind of Arby's. Beauty in the Dark by Isley Brothers and Mos Def. That's a song as well. Okay, 3 songs in a row. Okay, 3 songs in a row. What do we have? Lemonade by Gucci Mane. 4 songs in a row. All right, should we go for 5? Is this going to be the 5th song? The fifth song? Who knows? Groove with you. That's from Beauty in the Dark. That song is so good. Yeah, here we go. Return to the Mac, Mark Morrison. So, okay, music could be really important to you or like really impactful in your life somehow. You might be a musician. Interesting. Meditation. Maybe you're trying to meditate more. Maybe you already have a meditation practice. Maybe you're learning how to meditate. Maybe you just meditated today. Whatever. Hide your kids, hide your wife. That is a quote from Antoine Dodson. Iconic, if you don't know. That was from like a viral YouTube video from a while back. Go look it up. Uninvited by Mallrat. That's a song. Mallrat, Australian pop star. What do we have here? Doctor Strange, Marvel. I don't really know that much about any of those things, but I'm pretty sure he's played by Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah. We Used to Be Friends by the Dandy Warhols. That is a song. It is also the theme song for Veronica Mars. A long time ago, we used to be friends, but I haven't thought of you lately at all. Okay. Linkin Park band. R.I.P. Chester. So we've got two passed on musicians here, at least at the time of me filming this. I'm pretty sure Teddy Pendergrass is still alive. Let me double check all that. No, I was wrong. Teddy Pendergrass, he passed away as well. So we've got three passed on musicians here. Sadly, sad face, extra sad face. Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. That's a song. I want to say shout out to Chris Cornell. He's the lead singer of Soundgarden. I really don't know that much about him other than he was also an Audioslave. And apparently he also passed away. You know what? I need to like get my music history up, apparently, because Google is schooling me right now. We have the number 6 here. That's the month of June, which would be Gemini and Cancer energy. So the number 68 or 86 could also be relevant. So like maybe somebody's born in like 1968 or 1986, or just like I said, those numbers in general could be relevant. Slow Burn by Casey Musgraves. Now she's definitely still alive, at least at the time of me filming this. She just came out with a new album. That song Lonely Millionaire is also coming through. Tina Belcher, she's the eldest daughter from Bob's Burgers, the TV show, animated series. I don't know who voices her, who that voice actor is. Monopoly. You could be a fan of the game Monopoly. There's also a song called Monopoly by Ariana Grande and Victoria Monet. Earlier today, I was already thinking that this could be my pile. I don't know, but whatever. Earlier today, I was just watching a video by John Oliver on Last Week Tonight where he was talking about like tech monopolies. So maybe like monopolies in general could be coming up or could have a recent thing for you. Gordon Parks, prolific photographer, also RIP. Annie Mac, British radio DJ. We have here A Tribe Called Quest, music group, hip hop group from New York. Juggernaut. I think that's also another Marvel character. Interesting that I put it under Doctor Strange. Like I said, I don't really know that much about Marvel, but I just remember seeing that on Google. Waterbenders from Avatar: The Last Airbender. So, interestingly enough, at Katara, she is a waterbender. So, waterbenders rise up. I just wanted to say that also could be water signs, but I do have a slip for water signs that hasn't come out. Old Greg. I'm Old Greg. So Old Greg is a skit, like an internet skit by that guy, Noel Fielding, or whatever his name is, Noel Felding. He's also one of the hosts of the Great British Bake Off, Great British Baking Show. I believe that his wife is also a radio DJ, and like, I just think about that because we have Annie Mac here. I don't know what her name is. Let me go look it up. I think her name is Liliana Bird. I think maybe she goes by like Birdie or just Bird or something like that. But she's also a DJ, a radio DJ to my knowledge. We have here I Don't Want to Be by Gavin DeGraw. That is another theme song from the TV show One Tree Hill. I don't wanna be Elliot Page, actor, trans actor. You may know Elliot from Juno, from the Umbrella Academy, from any sort of activism online, things like that. Kimberly, 90 Day Fiancé. Okay, interestingly enough, Kimberly and baby girl Lisa, they dated the same person. His name is Usman. He is a Nigerian musician. Yeah. 90 Day Fiancé Hive. If you know, you know. Stand up. Here we are. We in this bitch. Congratulations, Smack and Katie by Reggie and the Full Effect. That's a song. I don't know if you guys were like Nickelodeon watchers back in the day, but they used to play this music video for Congratulations, Smack and Katie a lot because I guess it was kind of funny. It was like this slice of bread, or no, it was peanut butter, like a jar of peanut butter and a jar of jelly, like they like wanted to be together, but their parents didn't want them to be together. And so they would like sneak around, and then all of a sudden there was like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It was like a whole thing. It was very cute. Go watch the music video if you haven't seen it. Earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. So that could be in your sun, moon, rising, or Venus, any of your personal planets. Maybe even your North Node as well, since this is like a destiny career reading. Or you could have those in your 10th house, since 10th house has to do with career. The Incredibles movie, Disney. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Incredibles, they're superheroes and their kids are too. Drama, this is a musical duo, but also it refers to Johnny Drama from Entourage, which is another HBO show, iconic HBO show. Why did I say another? I don't think we've had any HBO shows on here yet. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Anyway. Yacht. Okay, yacht. Maybe you went on a yacht. Maybe you have plans to go on a yacht. Maybe you own a yacht. You know, we got some Richie Riches up in here. I can tell. The number 9. So that's the month of September. So like summer and fall are coming through. We've got 6, 8, and 9. 869, 896, 698, 986, 968. Any of those numbers could be relevant to you, but September also, that is Virgo and Libra energy there. You could be seeing 999. You could live on the 9th floor, have 9 people in your family, building number 9, 9th Street, things like that. 9 could be your favorite number or the day that you were born. We have here The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. Maybe you guys like played number 9 on the roulette wheel and you got lucky. You know, I don't know, something like that. Maybe you won poker with a pair of 9s, or, you know, 3 9s in a full house, something like that. 4 of a kind, and they were all 9s. You get where I'm going with this. Death Cab for Cutie. Okay, so marriages are coming through here a little bit. Death Cab for Cutie, that is a band. But speaking of Jessica Day being played by Zooey Deschanel, she was married for a while to the lead singer of Death Cab for Cutie, Ben Gibbard. So interesting, that's coming through. What do we have here? Betty Davis, you guys, I'm on it. Okay, I'm on it. I fucking love when I'm just in it with spirit. It like makes me feel so, it makes me feel so good. I can't say anything else. It just makes me feel so good. Betty Davis was also married to somebody very famous. She is a wonderful musician in her own right. She was married to arguably the much more famous Miles Davis, jazz musician, okay? So yes, famous marriages or marriages to famous people, that's coming through right now, okay? It's coming through right now. Marriages to a more famous counterpart, I guess you would say, because in all of the marriages that I talked about, each person was famous. You might be destined for fame. I'm just gonna say it. You could have some sort of famous destiny here. But Betty Davis was married to Miles Davis. He was more famous than she was. Ben Gibbard was married to Zooey Deschanel. Zooey Deschanel, I think you could argue, is the more famous one out of the two. We had here also, I talked about Liliana Bird and I talked about Noel Felding. Noel Felding is the more famous one out of the two, but Liliana Bird did have her own, following and her own career in the media spotlight as well. Cheerleader by Omi, the Felix Jane radio edit. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right there when I need her. That song is so cute. I like it. He's like, I'm not cheating on my girl. Bimbo. So maybe somebody called you a bimbo. Maybe you are a bimbo, a self-identified bimbo. Maybe you called somebody a bimbo, or you like saw that word recently or something. Nice by Beyonce and Jay-Z. So we got another famous couple here, the Carters. Because I'm nice, 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 nice. Up all night, night, night. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? Marlon Wayans, comedian. And his brother actually was on New Girl, Damon Wayans. So yeah, the New Girl energy is like, it's strong. It's very strong here. That's so funny. Maybe you guys are like watching it right now. Maybe it's your favorite show. Maybe you quote it all the time, or you hear somebody quote it a lot. Portions for Foxes by Rilo Kiley. Okay, so partnerships are coming through. It's not just marriages, it's also partnerships. Rilo Kiley is a band. The lead singer of the band, Jenny Lewis, she partners with the lead singer of Death Cab for Cutie pretty often. Not like pretty often, but like often enough that it's a thing. So yeah, partnerships definitely coming through. Where do I want to put this? I'm going to put this right here. I don't care. All right, guys, we got two more. Let's see. This one says Clumsy by Fergie. Clumsy 'cause I'm falling in love. So in love with you. All right. What else? You guys, I knew there was another HBO show in here. I knew it. I just knew it. See, me and Spirit, we're like this. We're like this. I was going to be like, we're like this. But I don't think you guys could see me doing that really. So I said, oh, we're like this. Silicon Valley. That is a TV show on HBO. It also could just like be referential to Silicon Valley in general in the Bay Area where all of the tech companies are. And I did mention earlier about the tech monopoly situation. Okay, so all right, a couple other things that are coming through right now. Just radio in general is coming through. There was like a storyline on New Girl where Winston was briefly a radio jockey or like a radio commentator for sports. And then I mentioned Annie Mac, and then I also mentioned Liliana Bird as well. So radio just in general coming through here. Usher came up twice, and I forgot or didn't notice at the time. So we have here Burn by Usher. We also have 8701 by Usher. The number 9, I forgot to say, I also associate that with a song by Willow and SZA. The song is called 9. But then also thinking about just the Smiths in general. So like that's Willow Smith, and then in Set It Off, Jada Pinkett Smith is like the main character. She's one of the main characters on there. So the Smiths, also this making me think of Red Table Talk is coming through as well. We have like a DC came up a couple times. So like we have Doja Cat, initials would be DC there. And then also Nobody's Supposed to Be Here, Deborah Cox, DC came up. And that also made me think of like Marvel versus DC because we have a couple Marvel characters right here. So Marvel versus DC, that might be a thing. And then again, I just wanted to reiterate the idea of like being married to somebody who is like kind of famous or more famous than you. I also noticed, I forgot to mention that, like with Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender, she and Aang, spoiler alert, they eventually get married. If you haven't seen it, it's been out for forever now, so you should know. Katang, we love them. But he's the Avatar. Aang is the Avatar. He's like super famous. And, you know, Katara is a master waterbender, but she's married to the Avatar, right? So the idea of being married to somebody who has some level of like fame or recognition that you don't have is coming through as well. It doesn't have to be somebody super famous that the whole world knows, but just like I said, has some sort of level of recognition that you don't have. Alrighty. Yeah, these are our identifiers. I'm gonna go write these down in my tarot journal. I did make a tarot journal for you guys, so go check that out if you like to watch readings or if you like to do readings for yourself. I personally think it's very important to write down the insights that you get from your readings because how else are you supposed to, you know, take the information, move forward with it, right? So yeah, I love my tarot journal. If you're interested, the link is down below in the description box. So yeah, let me go write these down and I'll see you guys in just a second for the reading. Hey there, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. We're going to be finding out about your ideal career path. Let's see how it goes. This is interesting because like until I just said that just now, I was thinking that this was like a career, like what kind of career should you have reading? But now I'm realizing career path, right? So that could mean like where you're going on the way to like, you know, where you eventually end up or just any of those things, right? It's about the path that your career will take. So Spirit always, you know, teaches me something new whenever I do these readings. And sometimes I don't even realize the way that I'm wording things. They can have multiple meanings or double entendres, if you will, right? We're going to put this off to the side and let's shuffle the cards. This is the Archetypes deck from Caroline Myss. Spirit, tell us about pile 1. We're talking about their ideal career path. What message do you have to say for pile 1? I think that I'm going to, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I was about to say, I think I'm going to get all the cards out first and then I'll do a reading or whatever, but I don't know. Let's see, pile 1. Let's see what they have to say. Sometimes things surprise you. We have here Samaritan. Interesting. And it did come out with the shadow attribute highlighted. So let's go ahead and just read that real quick. But it says, the light attribute refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore, whereas the shadow attribute says exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. So, okay, something that I already want to point out is that the song Cheerleader came out in our identifiers. And I was actually like towards the end of me filming them, that song was like really strong and it like almost was like, I'm not gonna say beating down my door. That's a very weird way to put it because that's really not it at all, but that's the phrase that just came to me just now. But this idea of being a cheerleader for somebody or something else and maybe not getting the recognition that you deserve or like really wanting recognition for it. There was also in the identifiers, there was this kind of like very persistent thing about like being in a relationship with somebody who has more attention than you, who like maybe is famous or something like that. That could be like social media famous. It could be actually famous, you know, maybe even just like famous in your neighborhood or your community, like a politician or, you know, somebody famous for anything. It could be really anything. But it's making me think right now about like, you know, in Oscars speeches and stuff, when people will like thank their spouses and things like that. And so it's like almost like the idea of doing things for the ultimate goal of being thanked and being recognized. It's not necessarily coming from like the good of your heart, but it's because you know that you're going to be rewarded for it later. Yeah. Interesting. And I know that that doesn't sound like super positive in the way that I'm saying it right now, but I don't mean it to be negative. And I also think that in career paths, oftentimes people do have to make sacrifices for things in order to, you know, have some sort of payoff later, whether that is, you know, saving your money in a 401k or putting in a whole bunch of work out on the front end if you're starting a business because you want it to, you know, take off later, or, you know, maybe you could be like a stay-at-home parent and your spouse is the one who's putting in a lot of work at the office or into their business, and they wouldn't be able to do that without you and without your support, right? And you expect to be rewarded later on, whether that is like materially or with like a more comfortable lifestyle or whatever. That makes me think, speaking of, I'm actually going to bring this one out. We have Drama here, Johnny Drama from Entourage. So Johnny Drama, if you've ever seen Entourage, it revolves around this guy, Vincent Chase. He's an actor. It's all about him and him building his career in LA. And he brings his entourage with him from Queens, New York, out to LA because he's like, you guys are the people I can trust, and like, you are the ones who I want on my team. So his best friend E is his manager. His brother Johnny is also an actor who used to be on like a really famous TV show, but hasn't had a lot of work since that TV show went off the air. since it concluded. And, so Johnny's kind of like teaching him about the business and stuff like that, but he's like wildly insecure. And then Vince also has this guy Turtle, who is like his driver and just general go-to guy in order to like help get stuff for the house. But Johnny Drama, like I said, is just very insecure. He also does act like a cheerleader for Vince, though. He's always hyping Vince up. He's always like, asking Vince maybe like if Vince is in a movie, maybe they can find a role for Johnny, things like that. And Johnny, of course, loves Vince. Vince is his brother. He would do anything for him, but he does definitely expect Vince to like pay him back somehow for all of the support that he gives him. So I'm getting like a little bit of some sort of kind of like transactional relationship here. And that's not to say that there isn't real love there. Because like I said, Vince and Johnny are brothers. Like there is real love. There's real love. There's deep love. There's like true companionship. There's true reverence for each other. But there also is this idea of being recognized or being paid back later for the sacrifice that you put in up front. Okay, and that doesn't have to be an actual relationship. This could just be the way that you relate to your work. This could be the way you relate to your job, the way you relate to your boss, if you have one. So that is coming through right now. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and get this vampire card here and see what it says. Maynard, Madness, Ecstatic Ritual, Energy Release. This card, I did say in the identifiers that there could be like some DJs coming through, some party people. You don't have to be a DJ in general. I would be very surprised if you were. But we also do have on this cheerleader slip here, it says Felix Jane radio edit. So this is like a DJ who remixed the song. And that remix is the one that got really popular. Maynard is like this chaotic, mythical creature, fairy that like starts parties and like ecstatic ritual, energy release. It's like dancing. There's a lot of dancing involved. I'm going to go ahead and read from the book here. And the number 19 could also have some significance. I'm going to put this here in the reverse because that's how it came out. So let's see. Some of you guys might be like really grinding, really like working for low wages or working for less because you feel like it's going to help pay off later, whether in terms of connections or networking, or like maybe it gives you time to work on some like a passion project or something like that that you feel like is going to pay off later. But here we have Maynard. Maenads are the female priestesses of the god Dionysus. Maddened by the fruits of the vine and given the space of ritual, they descend into ritual ecstasy, where an orgy of carnal delights, instability, frenzied dance, and gluttony are all allowed and celebrated. Within that space, the divine madness we all have, including you, is given expression and exhausts itself relatively safely. When she comes to you in this card, it is for you to now find a safe space to do what you have considered to be unsafe, in a safe and protected way. What does this mean? You may be longing to be free, wild, and to let loose, to cast off the chains and find expression in dancing, sex, parties, and intoxication. And when she comes to you now, this creature who will devour you if you do not find a way to safely express these urges. For that is vampiric, the urge to express the divine madness that will erode your soul if you repress it any longer. And that is when the vampiric Maynard can tear you to pieces. That is when addiction can find you. This is when overindulgence can stake its claim on your soul through your physical form. This Maynard is watching you now, eyes brimming with poison, ready to infect you if you do not begin to rediscover the beautiful madness of life in your own way. If you do not now begin to have some dance, some joy, some loss of the self-consciousness you battle with each day, she will find you, and her leaves will poison you, even as they delight you. It is time for joy to be lived through you. It is time for madness. It is time to drink the nectar of lovemaking, wine, laughter, to the point where your belly hurts. It is time. The blessing with this card, which is what happens when it's upright, like we got it, says, it is safe for you to give way to feelings of intense bliss and happiness, even excitement. Feeling deeply and allowing yourself to be swept up in the rapture is a beautiful thing for you to experience at this time. It is safe to let this happen under the current circumstances. To work with this card, it says dancing, going out, and indulging in ritual that gives you a safe escape valve for your wild urges needs to be created now. or else you may find the virtues you have worked so hard to establish eroding. And if you do things in a sacred way, there will be a kind of beauty to the madness. No more control. Find a safe place, find the safe people, and go wild, just for a little while within the temple you create. Do this and transcendence will follow. That loss of self leads to the uniting with the Great Spirit, the great soul of this world and beyond, and when you go to this place and drink of the holy grail of life, you will return replenished, whole, and fully returned. This will bring strength. So some of you guys might work in nightlife. Some of you guys might work in the arts. That's coming through right now. And some of you guys, like, you could be kind of like on the starving artist kind of vibe where, like I said, you are putting in time now, you're paying your dues now with hopes that it will pay off later on in the future. So this is your ideal career path reading. Remember, this is not necessarily saying like this is your ideal career, but we are talking about the path that you're taking and how it's going to get you to where you're supposed to be. Okay, so this definitely seems like it's for people who maybe are like party planners, musicians, actors, actresses, people who like to work in the nightlife, whether that's in a more service industry kind of way or in like maybe you work in the alcohol industry or, you know, the schmarmaceuticals. I don't know why I said it that way. The schmugs industry. I don't want to say the word, but you understand what I mean. You could be, you know, a dealer of some kind. We did get the gambler. You could work in like a casino or gambling, that kind of thing. So this is interesting. I'm not advocating for any sort of illegal activities here. I just want to make that clear to everybody. Also, this channel is only for people who are over the age of 18. So if you're not over 18, get the F out of here. Anyway, there's something here about the spectacle that is coming through as well. So you could also, like I said, just be an artist in general, like a painter, a sculptor, a dancer. Dancing obviously is coming through really, really, really big. But also like maybe like circus or performing arts or something like that. We do have like trapeze artists here on this card, right? So you could be a dancer, you could be a exotic dancer, a stripper, you could be something like that. You might just work in a kind of maybe taboo kind of industry or, like I said, just nightlife in general. So take that as you will. But let's see, let's continue to unravel this path here and see what else we have. It's time for me to get the tarot out. We're using the NYC Tarot today. This is a deck that I got off of Etsy, so it's not the one. I don't know like what happened. I haven't seen it on Etsy in a long time, and I know that there's a different NYC Tarot out now that is not this deck. So I don't know if like maybe one person got the trademark and then the other person didn't get the trademark or whatever, but this is the deck that's from Etsy. It's an indie deck. So yeah, here we go. Metro card, if you know, you know. Yeah, Queens is coming through because I said Johnny Drama, I talked about Vince, and then of course we have NYC Tarot. I picked this deck, this is going to be for all the readings. I picked this deck because it's like, NYC is the city of hustlers, okay? I just wanted to say and gangsters. NYC is the city of hustlers, and so, you know, people who are just trying to make it work, they're trying to make it work, and I feel like that's the vibe of like this whole reading in general, not this pile, like not just this pile, but with the idea of like a career path, right? People trying to make it work. So Spirit, tell us about pile one and their ideal career path. We have here the Empress in reverse. Interesting. Tell us about their ideal career path. We've got the Knight of Wands. We've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Anything else about their ideal career path for pile one? The Four of Cups. That's the Six of Cups. Excusez-moi. Six of Cups in reverse. Sorry about the glare, you guys. I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of that, but it's not working. The Chariot, also in reverse. So there's some blockages. I do see you guys may be running up against some obstacles in your career path, but with this being ideal career path, I think that's okay because it's like it's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you stronger at whatever it is that you're doing. There could be some blockages and some breaks, like times when you maybe like take a break from the thing that you're meant to be doing or whatever. We have here the Four of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Tell us more about Pile 1's ideal career path. Six of Wands in reverse. Anything else about Pile 1's ideal career path? The Six of Swords. Interesting. Some of you guys might be destined to travel if you are, you know, like a musician or a dancer or something like that. There's all different types of ways to travel these days. I was about to say like go on tour. But like, you know, artists, they can have exhibitions in different cities. Dancers, you could go on tour with like a famous musician or like with Broadway or whatever. Actors, you could tour with Broadway, that kind of thing. There's so many different things. Circuses, of course, they travel, right? So, yeah, we got the Five of Wands here. All right, so last chance. Anything else? Okay, we got the Three of Cups. Okay. I think that's it. That's it for now anyway. So what I'm seeing about your ideal career path, this says that you have a great passion towards something and you're going to rush towards it. You might not have the most confidence when it comes to this, though. You might not see yourself as the ideal candidate for this career path, whether that has to do with your looks, your personality, your beauty, your money. You are lacking confidence as you go towards this, but you are pursuing it. It's like, this is a passion that you cannot put out. Like, nobody can put it out for you. You are willing to put in the hard work, but I do see frustration there. I do see like perfectionism also could potentially be ruining your scenario. And I also see that you maybe care a little too much about money as you go towards this, okay? This could be like a dream that you've had since you were little for some of you guys. And I think that as you grow up, there is either pressure internally or externally for you to kind of like let it go. And that can be very difficult for somebody like you, because I think you want to put in, you want the passion, but you might not be like as willing to put in all of the effort and all of the hard work that you could to this craft in order to really, really, really like shoot up there. You know what I mean? You could be very talented, but this thing is coming to me where it's like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And so you might be relying a little too much on like a single thing. So, okay, for example, we've got this like t-shirt maker here in this Eight of Pentacles, and they have like one design, right? Instead of switching it up and making a few different designs, they're like focusing on this one design. So I feel like you might be lacking some variety in what you're supposed to be doing or in what you're offering, and that could be holding you back. You might not be putting in the skills or putting in the time to learn new skills to like get to the next level or to get like quote unquote new designs, right? Maybe the screen printer needs to learn how to draw something else. Maybe they need to learn how to, you know, go do graphic design on the computer in order to like make a new design. Maybe they need to learn how to work with AI. Maybe they need to learn how to do blah, blah, blah in order to expand their skill set, in order to expand their offerings. But there's something here that it's like the repetition of what you're doing is not working for you. Okay, so I'm going to give an example that just came to mind right now. Let's say that you're a DJ, or, you know, imagine you're a DJ. And you use the same type of transition every single time between songs. And my candle just popped just now. I have a candle over here that you guys can't see. It's like right over here off screen. It just popped as I said that. Like, there are DJs out there who are really good at scratching. There are DJs out there who are really good at just like dropping a song in, who are really good at like just doing different types of transitions. And let's say that you only have mastered this one type of transition, and you need to go out and master other types of transitions so that you can really like, you know, talk your shit, get your game up. Okay? That analogy you need to apply to your own life. You might have mastered one type of technique that's really important in your in your craft, in the thing that you love, whatever it is, because I definitely see you as a creative person. Even if you are an entrepreneur, you know, that's a type of creation in and of itself. You're a passionate person, but you've put a lot of time and effort into perfecting one thing, and you need to diversify, okay? You need to diversify because it's like becoming slow. It's becoming slower is what I'm getting here. Yeah, you're not moving forward. Like, it's like almost like not keeping up with the times or something like that. And that, as I said it, was not super accurate. It's more like being pulled in two different directions. And I do see with like the Empress here, especially being in reverse, and then also this Six of Cups here in reverse, it's like this idea of maybe I should slow down. Maybe I should do, you know, more normie things, like things that normal people do. Maybe you're getting older and chasing your dream isn't quote unquote as cool anymore as it used to be, right? And so I think that you could be getting pulled in two different directions. One direction towards your passion and one direction towards giving up on your dreams and doing something, especially if you haven't found the success that you're hoping to find, right? Maybe you were more successful in the past and things have been really slow lately, like I was talking about with Johnny Drama earlier from Entourage, how he was on a very famous show and then the show ended and he like hasn't had any work since then, right? And you could be feeling some pressure here to kind of like go in a different direction. You might be in a place where you're not as independent as you used to be. You might be in a place where you're kind of depending on somebody else, possibly your mom, with the Empress here. And your parent or whoever you're depending on could be trying to also convince you to do something else, to maybe like take on something more conventional. So we did say like nightlife, you could be working in the nightlife or just in a creative field in general, let's say that. And maybe somebody wants you to like, you know, go get a job as like an accountant or some shit like that, right? Whatever. Go get a job as a firefighter or something that is more steady, something that is just not what you have the passion for, okay? But your passion is not easily put out. Not easily put out. Maybe like a little bit, you've had it dampened on a little bit, but that fire is burning. And now I'm thinking about that song Fire Burning on the dance floor. Sean Kingston. Is Justin Bieber on there? I don't remember. Fire burning on the dance floor. Okay. I'm also seeing though that an opportunity is coming to you soon. Okay. An opportunity is coming to you soon. And I'm wondering if I should say it in a different way because, you know, this is your ideal career path. Some of you guys might be hoping to be discovered. I'll say that. Some of you guys might be hoping to be discovered. But I also think that some of you guys are ignoring a potential pathway towards success. Okay? And here's the thing. Some of you guys may choose to go that more quote-unquote normie route of the normal job. You see how she's here? She's like in her little office job here. And then there's still just like this cup reaching out. It's like, hey, remember me? Think about me. What about me? Right? Some of you guys might need this time. You might need some time to be stable and maybe to not move forward with your creative endeavors. Because I think that if that happens, it will force you to make a plan. It will force you to make a plan on how to be more competitive in your desired industry, how to be a more competitive player in the industry. It will kind of push you to that place where you're like, okay, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of things being slow. I'm tired of having to work this normal ass job or whatever, this boring ass job or whatever this is. And you know what? People don't necessarily support me the way that they think that I should, or people are maybe telling me that I'm not that great or whatever. And you know what? Fuck them. I'm going to show them and I'm going to make a plan. Some of you guys, this plan could include traveling somewhere. This could just literally be like a written plan that you have a strong feeling about and is going to be successful. And if you do create that plan, or let's say that you do travel somewhere, some of you guys, this could involve boat travel, but just travel in general. You're going to make a plan, and that plan actually is going to be very successful. We have here on this card, the Six of Swords, it's the Staten Island Ferry, and it just makes me think about all the people who go from Staten Island into Manhattan or wherever they go every day. You know, they get up early, they have to take the ferry, they go in and they go to work, and then they come back home and they go to their families. And it's like, they have to put in that time, they have to put in that effort, they have to take the extra step and the extra mile to do what they do, right? They're not just like moving into the city. Staten Island people, like, they can be very, very proud. They're proud of where they came from. And so they're not just going to like move into the city necessarily. They're going to get up and they're going to take that ferry. And so I think that for you, this is like teaching you how to plan ahead. And with the Five of Wands here, that's about competition. It's also about building something. This also could be about working together with the people around you to build something. Okay, especially with this Three of Cups here, I see that your ideal career path involves you working with other people. So this could be forming a team. This could be getting together with friends who are in your same area of work. This could be making new friends in your same area of work, networking, but definitely building something with other people. Okay, collaborating could be part of it as well. But yeah, your ideal career path is about finding people, especially people who are on the same level as you, and getting together with them, whether that is networking, collaboration, actual partnership, or something like that. Okay, some of you guys might end up being part of a trio of some kind. That might be helpful for you. But overall, like, success, I see it. But I don't think you're going to get there alone, and you're not going to get there without hard work. You have to make yourself a competitive player in whatever market that you're in. And so for some of you guys, that means learning some new techniques. Like, let's say that you're a dancer and you've been a hip hop dancer for a really long time. Some of you guys might need to like go out and learn some contemporary or some jazz or some ballet or some tap or whatever. You need to make yourself more competitive in the market. And that will draw other people to you. It will attract other people to you, okay? This Six of Wands is like sticking out to me, almost like a sore thumb. And I'm wondering why. Because the Six of Wands, usually in the upright, it's about people like really appreciating your work or putting you on a pedestal or something like that. But in the reverse, it could be about like being bullied. It could be about being knocked off that pedestal. It could be, especially since there's here like the sixth train, it's like lack of direction or getting lost somewhere or something like that. I also want to say that the sixth train is an express train. So what that means is that it will skip stops on the regular route that the 4 train takes. They both are on the same track, but the 6 train skips stops in order to get you there faster. And if this train was like in reverse, it's like it's stuck on the track for some reason. It's supposed to be getting you there faster. It's supposed to be getting you there, you know, without having to make a whole bunch of different stops that other people may need to make, but it's delayed for some reason. There's a delay. There's a necessary delay. It could be that like you are getting off on a stop. It maybe you got to, okay, how do I say this? So for example, and I don't know if this is like the full route. I did used to live in New York. I'm trying to remember exactly how the 6 train goes, but like I know that it goes to Grand Central Station, and I don't know if it stops between Grand Central Station and 96th Street or not, but let's say that it doesn't, okay? And that's like a span of like 50 blocks. Meanwhile, the 4 train, which is on the same track, is stopping like every few blocks to let people off and to let people on. So let's say that you skip like light years ahead of other people who are kind of like on your same level, and you skip light years ahead really early in your career, and you get off on this one stop. Let's say you get off on like the 96th Street stop while other people are still, you know, in the 50 streets, the 50s and the 60s and the 70s streets, and you're all the way ahead at 96th Street. But then you spend a lot of time at 96th Street. You spend a lot of time there before you get back on the train and keep going forward, right? That could be like a necessary delay that you have in your career. And also, like, let's say that the train is stuck on the track and you haven't had a chance to get off the train, you know, to go and keep going about your day, keep going about your career activities. While you're on the train, like, people do all kinds of stuff. They read, they talk to their neighbors, they, you know, listen to music, they watch movies. They do things that, you know, they wouldn't have gotten to do if the train weren't delayed. So I'm going to encourage you to take this delay as a blessing, and also to see it as a time when you can get other types of work done, or necessary types of work done, that will make you a more competitive and stand out candidate for the type of work that you want to do. Even if you're not a creative person, right? Let's say that you are an office worker or whatever, and you've been kind of like at the same level in your career for a really long time. Maybe you started off really well and you started off getting a bunch of promotions, and then all of a sudden you're in the same position for like 4 or 5 years. And it might be that you needed to be in that position for 4 or 5 years so you could learn a lot of things, or so that you could kind of like take a step back, plan some things, or maybe like have a family or something like that, and then figure out how to move ahead again in a more competitive way. Maybe you needed to like stop and get some certifications or whatever, right? There's some sort of like new technique that you need to learn in order to continue to move ahead of the competition. But in doing so, and in doing this, and creating a new plan and becoming more competitive in your industry, and I don't mean competitive in terms of like, you know, knocking other people down. I literally mean like learning new things so that other people find even greater value in you and what you bring to the table, right? That's what I mean by competitive. In doing that, you are going to attract new people to you. New people, new opportunities, new fun times, new networking opportunities. You might end up going to like conferences or, you know, parties or things like that that end up really helping your career. Okay? So yeah, let's see what else we have in our oracle cards. Let's go with this one first. Business. We did get entrepreneur in our identifiers. So yes, that is definitely coming through here. Business. And I did just give like a little business example of like an office worker. It says on this card, let's see. Do not be intimidated to enter the world of business. You got this. Consider executive positions, becoming a CEO, or anything in the corporate world. Elevate your awareness and think bigger. There we go. Elevate your awareness and think bigger if you want different results. I love it. Elevate your awareness and think bigger if you want different results. So for some of you guys, this necessary delay that you went through is a sign for you, like I said, to make a new plan and to become competitive in a different way. Some of you guys might even like decide, you know what, I've learned so much in this job that I've had in the last like 4 or 5 years or whatever, that I could now take that and become like a freelancer, or I could start my own business and just offer this exact set of skills out to other people. I don't have to work for other people, you know, only making XYZ salary a year, when I know that my skills are very valuable and I could be making 5 times that if I just went out on my own. And over the 5 years that you were in that position, you perfected that one thing, right? And now you're taking that one thing that you're perfect at, you're learning some new things on top of that, and you're going out, you're creating connections, and you're building your own business. That could very well be the ideal path for some of you, where you're taking all these things, you're learning a lot of stuff, you're taking the delays as blessings, and you're incorporating what you've learned during those delays to become your own boss and offer your own situation here. I'm thinking right now about New Girl and Cece. So New Girl was very prominent also in our identifiers as well. And one of the characters on there, her name was Cece, played by Hannah Simone. She was a model. And she was doing really, really well in her career at first, you know. But models, like as they get older, their career starts to kind of fall off for the most part. And so she was experiencing that. She ended up having to like take a bartending job, you know, kind of like taking a step back or getting like a quote unquote normie job that I was talking about here. And while she was doing the bartending job, you know, she really took some time to think and to plan. She started, you know, talking to new people and really like working on her customer service skills and stuff like that. And by the end of the show, she ends up becoming her own boss as a model manager. So she like starts managing a whole bunch of male models. She calls them Cece's boys, and she starts her own business because she takes what she learned from her modeling career. She takes what she learned from her customer service, from being a bartender and negotiating with people from being a bartender, helping people to manage people's emotions and their problems from being a bartender. That's a huge part of being a bartender. You know, people come in wanting to, you know, drown their troubles, drown their sorrows, tell you all the things about their day. And like, as a manager, that's a very, very important skill to have, because your client, whether they're an actor, a model, an artist, or whatever, they're going to have ups and downs with their emotional state, and you have to manage that. You also have to manage their expectations and broker deals for them, right? So she took all of that, her skills that she learned from being a bartender, and she ended up creating her own business. So there are just so many like different opportunities, different things that you can learn, even in the most like quote unquote menial or boring of jobs. So you have to learn how to value those things, create a plan, and use them to give you a competitive edge, okay? It's like, it might seem like a setback, but really, if you can recognize the great skills that you're learning, you can use it to catapult you into a whole new space and like make even more money and become your own boss for a lot of you. That could be your ideal career path. I'm thinking again about Entourage, and I mentioned earlier that Vince, he's the Vinny Chase, played by Adrian Grenier. He brought his entourage from Queens with him to LA, and his best friend E, real name Eric, was his manager. And at first, E did not really fully understand like what went along with being a manager. He was just managing Vince. Vince was his only client. Luckily for him, Vince was like a really great actor. Well, that's debatable. But Vince was a very popular actor, let's say that. He was a heartthrob. He was a really popular actor at the beginning of his career. And so Vince did a lot for him. E did a lot for him. But eventually, E starts branching out, and he starts taking on other clients. He starts working for an actual management company instead of just like, you know, being a kind of solo freelance manager for Vince. He starts working for an actual management company. He takes on new clients, and then eventually he ends up being his own boss as well at a management company that he partners with like some other person on, okay? So I'm seeing you guys. It might seem like things are being slow. Maybe things started off really fast or like started off really luckily for you. But the skills that you're learning during this kind of slower period, they can make you so competitive if you just use them the right way. You have to plan, and you have to see them for what they are and see them for this sharper edge that they can give you against your competition, because they will help you with all of those things and the soft skills, the hard and the soft skills, especially if you do want to own your own business one day, okay? Let's see what else we have here. We're going to go with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. We got 2 cards here. We got Creation and we got Trickery. Trickery in reverse. I am going to take that reversal, okay? So let's see how we want to do this. I'm going to put this like this here and put this right here. Okay. So creation, I did say you guys are creatives. I said that, didn't I? Even if you are on like the business side of the creative industry, I think that you might be learning the business side, or you can take things to apply to the business side of the creative industry. This card talks about how like everybody gets their own gifts, and how it may seem like at first some people have really special gifts, but eventually you come to realize that everybody has their own gifts. And so I think that you maybe started off a little bit insecure with some of the things that you were doing, even if things were moving kind of quickly for you. But you come to realize later on that like, not only what I said earlier, hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard, but you also realize that like everybody in the world has some sort of gift. And so it is your job to nurture and cultivate your own gift. in the best way you know how and in the best way for you, okay? And also to see the gifts, the giftedness in other people as well. Because when you are able to see the giftedness in other people, then you'll know who you can collaborate with and who will be a good partner for you. We've talked about collaborations and partnerships a lot here, so I do see that being pertinent for you on your ideal career path, okay? Trickery. This story has to do with like trading something for something else and thinking that you're getting away with something and then finding out that you kind of got the bad end of the deal, okay? I think that this card is trying to tell you, don't try and do underhanded deals. Don't try and do underhanded things in order to get ahead, because honesty is the best policy. Being straightforward about certain things is the best policy, and you want to feel like you have integrity when you win. You don't want to win by nefarious means or by throwing other people under the bus. You want to do it with a way that has integrity, especially if you do end up running your own business. You don't want there to be any sort of, cooked books or negative things that could attach to your business reputation. You want to run a business with integrity. You want to have whatever it is that you end up doing. Do it with integrity here. Don't try and go around tricking people. Do it honestly and from the heart, okay? So this green one represents the heart chakra. This gray one here represents the crown chakra, okay? There is like a recognition that we all are one and everybody has some sort of specialness to them, and you're going to try and recognize that in everyone. But you're also going to do things from the heart. And some of you guys may not have the best history of that, especially with the Samaritan card here, right? See, it said in the beginning, refines your capacity to help those you prefer to ignore. So that's like doing things from the goodness of your own heart, being a good Samaritan. Whereas it's in reverse, which is like you're doing it because you think you're going to get something back from it, right? You're making sacrifices now because you think you're going to get something back, or you're going to get recognition back from it in general. All right? And I do see that here in this reading. But you have to also remember that things that are done from the heart land the best. Okay? They resonate well with other people. And nobody likes to feel tricked. Nobody likes to feel like it's a transaction. Nobody likes to feel like that. Okay? So try and do things from the best heart space that you can. All right, let's get our last card here and see what we have. This is from the Prism deck. I don't really know which way this was turning, so I'm just going to read it upright no matter what. We have balance. Let's see what it would have been. It would have been in reverse. Balance. This is also green, representing the heart chakra as well. Green also representing money, money, honey, shmoney. Okay, we've got a lot of green in this Maynard card too. So the green is coming through. If you are able to, go through your ideal career path and recognize those great skills for what they are, then I think that you will be very successful and you'll make the money that you want to make. Okay, girl, I think that you will. And I'm calling everybody girl, whether you are a girl, a guy, non-binary, trans, whatever it is that you want to be. We're here for the girls. We're all girls here. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it says. Just a little figure of speech, just like use guys, right? So don't get offended. But this is about balance, finding the balance between moving quickly towards your goal and then also learning when to kind of take a step back or to stand still and to learn something new, okay? This card also can be about overworking. This Eight of Pentacles, this can be about overworking. And you don't want to get into that place where you're overworking on things, okay? You also don't want to get into a place where you're bored with what you're doing, or you lack creativity, or you lack authenticity, or whatever, okay? You want to find balance there. And then also this card, the Maynard card, also talked about things like overindulgence or going a little too hard, and how things can kind of like poison you in some ways, especially if you do work in the nightlife or you do work in a creative industry. When you put your all into something creatively, it can be very taxing. When you work in the nightlife and you're up all night every night, that schedule can be very taxing. It's important to find balance. Yes. Also, you get what you give. Remember that. You get what you give. Karma comes back around. The wheel of karma will come back around, okay? So do things from the heart for a good reason. Don't do them because you think you're going to get something out of it. later on. Like, don't go around trying to network and make friends because you think that this person can help you out or, you know, give you a hand up or whatever. Do it because you genuinely admire them or you genuinely like them or you think that they're a cool person and they're doing something cool. You know, don't go around giving out compliments just to flatter people. Like, if you give out compliments, you genuinely want to mean it, okay? People can tell the difference. Whether you believe it or not, they can tell the difference, okay? Yeah. I definitely get, like, player energy, movers, shakers kind of energy here. But, like, you're the type of person who wants to play the game, but you might be playing the game kind of badly because people can see through it. People can see through you. All right. And I said that I use the NYC Tarot for a specific reason because people in New York, like, they do not fuck around. They do not play. And they know when somebody's being fake as fuck for the most part. They know because it's like, if you're trying to just like social climb or you're just trying to like, you know, get something out of somebody, right? Like, they can tell. It's not that hard. So it's like, I just want to say, people, you're transparent. People can see through you. People can see it. Okay? Like, you're not fooling anybody. So do things from the heart. Do things with good and honest intentions. Okay? And be prepared to give so that you can get, but also be prepared to receive. And to give back as well. Okay? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to like this video. I love you so much. I'm wishing you all the best in your endeavors, in your work. I hope that this resonated for you. If it did, leave me a comment or a little emoji or something down below, like a little crescent moon emoji. I am so excited for you guys because I know you're going to rock it, but you have to, like I said, operate from the heart space and recognize those skills that you'll need and dream bigger, because it says elevate your awareness and think bigger if you want different results. I think that the results that you've been thinking of, you're meant for something so beyond that. And you have to kind of, you know, expand your vision a little bit. Thinking again about Cece from New Girl. You know, like, she was a model. Maybe she wanted to, like, walk the runway for all these major designers. And then all of a sudden, a switch flipped and she's able to think bigger. And now she has her own company where she manages models. You know what I mean? So think bigger. And do not be intimidated to enter the world of business. You got this. You got to think like a business person. I just had a flash of like that song by Ludacris, or is it Jermaine Dupri? It might be both, where they're like, welcome to Atlanta where the players play. Right? You've got to be ready because in the business world, the players are playing. You've got to learn the game. You got to know the game that you want to play. Okay? So yeah, just a little last tidbit of advice. You got this. Oof. And think of yourself as an executive. Think of yourself as the corporation of you, okay? And I think that that will help you to gain that confidence back that you were missing from the beginning. Okay? All right. I love you so much, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. I'll see you later, Tarot family. Bye. What's up, Tarot cuties? Welcome, welcome. If you chose pile 2, we're going to get into our identifiers right now. Right now. Meow. I don't know why I'm doing that. Whatever. Anyway. Let's do this. All right, so the identifiers, the way that these work is that at least one of them should be really familiar to you, significant to you. Somehow it could have shown up in your life in like the past couple of days or weeks, but it would be like showing up in a way that you would remember or that was significant or something like that, okay? For some reason, and I've never thought this before, but for some reason I'm like seeing these lips as like a little off kilter, like this side of the lip bowl is like up, or like this little piece right here is like off. I don't know why, but it's reminding me of the Megan Thee Stallion Sugar album cover. You know how she likes to like do her lips like, right? It's making me think of that. So that could also be an identifier for somebody as well. Anyway, Spirit, who's in pile 2? Who are my pile 2 people? We're finding out about their ideal career path. Who are my pile 2 people? Who's in pile 2? Pile 2. I love you, pile 2. Pile 2. Who are you? This is a great time to subscribe to the channel. If you liked my little song I just did, go ahead and subscribe. And don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up. Anybody else in pile 2? Alright, cool. Let's do this, pile 2. Let's see who you are. Where do we start? Let's start here. Let's see. Identifier number 1. That's number 3. That's funny that I said number 1 and then it was number 3. I almost never say like identifier number 1. I don't think I've ever said that before in any of the videos that I've made so far. Anyway, the number 3, that could be March, which would be Pisces and Aries energy. You could be seeing 333. 3 could be your favorite number. You could be born on the 3rd. You could live on 3rd Street or 3rd Avenue. Apartment number 3. You could have 3 people in your family or 3 kids, something like that. Cheers, Drink to That by Rihanna. That also makes me think of I'm With You by Avril Lavigne, because she sampled, or the producer for that song sampled that in that song where she's like, yeah, 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 right? We've got Lose My Breath by Destiny's Child. Can you keep up, baby boy, make me lose my breath? The Joker, Steve Miller Band. Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. Please Don't Leave Me by Pink. There's a lot of music coming out right now. Da 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 da. A Fine Romance by Judith Sills, PhD. That is a sociology book about courtship from meeting to marriage. We've got here Good by Better Than Ezra. I feel like I haven't seen that one in a while. It was good living with you. It was good. So some of you guys may live with roommates, or you might have just moved out of a roommate situation, or maybe like you were living with a significant other and you guys recently stopped living together. Casino by Houndmouth. That's a song. Dealers in the boot life. Got me hooked on freebasing. I don't know if I can say that, but whatever. Grand Crew. Those are the lyrics to Casino by Houndmouth that I was just singing. Grand Crew, that's a TV show about a group of friends in LA who like to hang out at a wine bar. Number 5, so 35 could be significant, 53 could be significant. The month of May, which is Taurus and Gemini. Yeah. Taurus and Gemini energy. 555 could be significant. Apartment number 5, 5 people in your family. It's so funny that that came out, because when I was thinking about like the number 3, and I was like, you could have 3 people in your family or 3 kids in your family, which I was like, 3 kids plus 2 parents is 5. So 5 came out, and like in my brain I was thinking that, and then 5 comes out, so that's funny. 5 could be your favorite number. You could be born on the 5th, that kind of thing. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. That could be in any of your personal planets or your north nodes. That would be Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. North node. We've got here 500 Days of Summer, so 5 or 500, that is coming through. That's a movie starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel. Zooey Deschanel was also like mentioned, and her character Jessica Day from New Girl, they were mentioned pretty prominently in pile 1. You could have messages in pile 1 also. I was going to say that also earlier because like a lot of music came out, and that was like a trademark. There's also I think like 4 songs in a row came out in pile 1 as well. So you may have messages in pile 1. If you felt attracted to it, then don't hesitate, and you can go watch that one too. Aaron Taylor Johnson, ATJ. This also, I wanted to say you could have a hyphenated last name or a hyphenated name in general. Tea ceremony. So that's supposed to be like Chinese tea ceremony, but you may just have some sort of like ritual, a tea ritual that you have. Maybe you like to like drink tea at the same time every morning, or you make your tea a really specific way. Earrings. So you might have a lot of earrings. You could have just been gifted earrings or just bought some earrings. Maybe you like just got your ears pierced or something. Something special to do with earrings. Angus thongs and full frontal snogging. Aaron Taylor Johnson was in this movie. That's so funny. He played Robbie, the love interest. This movie is based off of a book of the same name. The movie is actually called Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging. This is the book, and it's from the Georgia Nicholson series by Louise Richardson. Karaoke. Okay, so I said there was a lot of music in here. You could be really into karaoke. You might be one of those people who likes to go sing. Maybe you just sing in the shower or something, but yeah. You might like to do cover songs or whatever. Graphic novel. You could be reading a graphic novel. You could be writing or drawing a graphic novel. Maybe your favorite book is a graphic novel, something like that. Las Vegas. Okay. Vegas energy coming through. You could be from there. You could be taking a trip there. That could be like your favorite city or something like that. Maybe you just got back from Las Vegas. We did have casino as well, so gambling is coming through pretty strong. Anne Hathaway, actress. What do we have here? Avenged Sevenfold. That's a band. I don't really know anything about them. Somehow they made it in the lip bowl. I don't know how. Seth Rogen. He is an actor. And whenever Seth Rogen and Las Vegas come up together, it always makes me think of that movie Knocked Up. There is like a pretty significant scene from the movie Knocked Up where his character, named Ben, is in Las Vegas with Paul Rudd's character, whose name I don't remember. But yeah. Also now thinking about Ben in Las Vegas is making me think of that movie Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage. His character's name in that movie was also Ben. So there we go. Cold Hearted 2 by Meek Mill. That's a song off of his Championships album. Chemical Hearts. That's a movie from Netflix starring Lily Reinholt. Ugh, I never know her name. Anyway, yeah. Privacy. You could have like increased your privacy recently. You might have, changed your passwords or gotten a camera or something like that to work on your privacy. Or you could be like trying to figure out how to be more private or just generally keeping more things to yourself. Self-date. Yeah. Taking yourself out on a date, girl. Or guy or non-binary friend. Trans friend. Who do we have here? The Good Place TV show. Starring, is her name Kristen or Kirsten? Bell, whatever, whoever she is. Jamila Jamil, those are the people. Bantu Knots. Oh, also Ted Danson was on that show. Bantu Knots, that's a hairstyle. You might have them. They might be your favorite type of hairstyle. You might have just taken them down. Lobster. Ooh, who's eating lobster in Vegas? Is somebody eating lobster in Vegas right now? Did you just have lobster in Vegas or just lobster in general? Dorito Loco Tacos. Who's eating Dorito Loco Tacos in Vegas? Maybe that's like your favorite, thing to order from Taco Bell. ATVs. Those are like those four-wheelers that people will ride through like the desert or the country or on the beach or in the jungle or whatever, four-wheelers. You know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, go look it up. Road trip. Okay. Maybe you planning to take a road trip. Maybe you just got back from a road trip. That kind of thing. What do we have here? For some reason, I just wanted to start singing that song. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. I don't know why. School of Rock. That could be the movie starring Jack Black. It also could be like, there's like a little chain of music, instructional, like music schools, I guess I would call. I guess I would call them that because it's called School of Rock. They're literally called School of Rock. Oklahoma. That could be the state. It also could be like the Broadway play, Oklahoma. Countess Luann de Lesseps from Real Housewives of New York. If you know, you know. Money can't buy you class. That's what she said. Money can't buy you class. Nashville. You know what? People sometimes call Nashville Nash Vegas. So that's coming through for show as well. That's funny. Maybe some of you guys are like taking a road trip from Nashville to Las Vegas or vice versa. Spice World. That is the iconic Spice Girls movie, but it also just makes me think of like a store with a lot of spices. I don't know if that's a real thing, but it is what it is. Give Me Something Real by Ashford and Simpson. And as soon as I said Ashford and Simpson, it also made me think of Ashley Simpson. Pieces, pieces, pieces of me. We have here Amber. So that could be like somebody's name could be Amber. There's also a song called Amber by 311. Oh, amber is the color of your energy. So that's like giving aura vibes. And then also on Love is Blind, there have been a lot of people named Amber. I did write specifically season 1, but we've had an Amber on season 4 and then like 2 Ambers on season 6. So you know that name Amber is coming through. So is Love is Blind. Romance novel. Maybe that's your favorite genre of novel. Maybe you write them. Maybe you just finished one. Maybe you just picked one up from the library or whatever. From the bookstore. Nicki Minaj, Marilyn Monroe. So Nicki Minaj has a song called Marilyn Monroe, but either of these two famous women on their own also could be an identifier for you, okay? Also, Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill, they did used to be in a relationship. We have Meek Mill right here from Cold Hearted 2, so they are no longer together. That was a very long time ago, but I feel like it's worth mentioning, so whatever. I don't know why I mentioned that. The Wild Thornberrys. That was a Nicktoon, a Nickelodeon cartoon about a girl named Eliza Thornberry and her family. Her parents, they were like wilderness researchers or something, and she found out she could talk to animals, and so the whole show was about her talking to animals. Amber came back out. So yeah, Amber coming through strong as hell. Okay, the name Amber. We have 1894 by Amber Mark. That's a song. But yeah, Ambers, rise up. Where are my people named Amber at? Who are you? What's going on? If your name is Amber, leave me a comment. Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, Big and Rich. Down, 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 down. Country music, like aggressive country music. I won't say aggressive, but that song, Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, is like, I was about to say aggressively country, and I don't mean aggressive in terms of like angry or anything like that, but like that first riff, you know what's coming. You know what's coming, and like they are unapologetic about just how country they are, okay? So yes, that's the vibes. That's the Nash Vegas vibes that I'm getting here. Well, I walk into a room, passing out $100 bills, and it kills and it thrills like the horns on my Silverado grill. I want to keep singing that song so bad. So yeah, Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy coming through strong. We got The London or just London. So London, England, that could be a thing. But then also The London, that's a song by J. Cole, Young Thug, and why do I want to say Ty Dolla $ign? Is that accurate? It's Travis Scott. I don't know why I always want to say Ty Dolla $ign. It is Travis Scott. Can you meet me at the London? We can have fun. We can run one. All right, This Charming Man by Stars. That's a cover of a song by the Smiths. The Smiths coming out real strong because they talk about the Smiths a lot in 500 Days of Summer. That was like one of the things that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character connected with Zooey Deschanel's character over was mutual liking of the Smiths. So yeah. We have here We're Going to Be Friends by the White Stripes. That's a song. The initials MM could be important in some way. We've got Meek Mill here, MM, and then we also have Marilyn Monroe, MM. I also want to say the middle initial of T could be important. We've got here like Aaron Taylor Johnson, that's ATJ. We've also got ATVs with a middle initial of T. So that's coming through as well. Last but not least, covers in general. So like we have karaoke here. You could consider that like cover songs, right? We did have here the Smiths cover on This Charming Man. That's by a band by Stars. It's a cover of a Smiths song. And then also that even makes me think of like graphic novel. You know, they have covers. So whether you're illustrating them, romance novel as well. So like book covers and then also song covers is coming through right now. So yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to go write these down in my tarot journal, you guys. If you're interested in procuring your own tarot journal, I did make one for y'all. It's down below in the description box. If you read your own tarot or if you like to watch videos, it could be very helpful for you. Regardless, go check it out. And I will see you guys in just a second for your reading. Hey there, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. Don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to the channel. Love you. Thank you in advance. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. We're actually going to be pulling out from this deck first, the Archetypes deck first. And I realized this, I didn't say it in the intro, but I realized it in the beginning of pile 1. This is an ideal career path reading. So it's not saying like what your ideal career is exactly, although we may get, some hints towards that, but it's going to talk about the career path that you're going to be most likely taking, or that would be the best for you. So no matter where you are in your career, what you're looking forward to in the future, whatever it is, this is about your career path and what would be the best on that path. So yeah, let's find out. Spirit, pile 2. Tell us about their ideal career path. I'm actually just going to cut the deck, I think. Let's see. Let's go. All right, what do we have here? We've got Saboteur. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so the light attribute, which is the one that this is in since it's upright, we have highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. In the shadow attribute, it says induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. So we're keeping it in the light attribute here. Highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Interesting. Some of you guys might have some self-sabotaging behavior. It looks like this person is in a hot air balloon, and maybe they're like letting out hot air before they're ready. They're trying to reach new heights. Okay, that's definitely what I'm getting. And with career path, that makes a lot of sense, trying to reach new heights in your career. But you might be letting out a little too much before you get to where you're supposed to go, or in order to get to where you're supposed to go. So that could be talking about like gossip. That could be telling people too much of your business. That could be bragging or boasting a little too much. Okay, any of those things could apply here. Maybe some of you guys are not dressing appropriately for the role that you want. They do say, dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. And so some of you guys might not be dressing appropriately. Yeah, interesting. So if you identify with the idea of like fear of self-empowerment, then that could definitely be an indicator that this is in fact your pile. So let's see what else is next. We're going to go with this vampire card here. This is the one that came out in the reverse. All the other 2 piles had it, theirs in the upright. So we're going to read from the book for this, but let's find out what we have first. We've got here Sacrifice. Ooh, interesting. This makes me think of the song My Sacrifice by Creed. So yeah, so you guys could be sacrificing a little too much in your pursuit of your career or whatever it is, but let's find out. It says renunciation. It says renunciation, offering, letting go, and also the number 35. That number came up in our identifiers. We had a 3 and we had a 5, and I said the 35 or 53 could come, and now we have 35. So let me see if I can go find those. I am going to leave this in the reverse, so let's go ahead and put that there. When you are with me, I'm free. I'm careless, I believe. Above all the others will fly. Oh my gosh, above all the others will fly. She's in a hot air balloon, yes. Bring tears to my eyes, my sacrifice. Yeah, okay, that song by Creed, My Sacrifice, coming through strong as hell. My sacrifice. So he's like, hello, my friend, we meet again. All right, you guys, I'm trying to find the 3 that came out, so be patient with me. If you don't want to listen to me sing My Sacrifice by Creed, feel free to fast forward. You can fast forward during this part. I won't be offended because I'm not going to know. Also, we did get karaoke, so singing is allowed. Hello, my friend, we meet again. It's been a while, where should we begin? Feels like forever. I don't remember the lyrics to the next part, I'm not gonna lie. All right, I found it. We got the 3 here, 35. I told y'all. Ooh, that's crazy. I love it when that happens. That's wild. All right, yeah, let's go read from the book on this one. The sacrifice. Okay, sorry. I just, I read ahead. I'm not gonna tell you guys what I just read. I'm gonna just read it in order, but I read ahead and it was like, yes, this is so pertinent. Anyway, in humans' lives, there's a, okay, so I just want to say, this is a card from a vampire deck. So these vampires, supposedly, you know, vampires have the ability to live a very long life. They have a lot of different things that they've gone through, different eras that they've gone through, different things and perspectives in terms of time and timing. So that's why they're talking about humans. Let's go ahead and keep reading. In humans' lives, there's a great resistance to choice. And you may ask of us, what is choice to do with sacrifice, the name upon this card? But choice is at the very heart of sacrifice. For life, with its multiplicities of possibilities, demands that you make your choices. And for many of you, we notice again and again that you refuse to make the choice. And then you are forced to make one, but one that suits another. Sabotage energy. It's time for you to examine what you value most and what you would least wish to give up. The word sacrifice, as we know this as we have lived long, is a way of making the thing you give up sacred. It is a loss. It is painful. It matters. Therefore, the void that is left means something and must be filled with something that means more. For so many of you, you will not choose. You wish to be good to all. You wish to let down none. You do not think about what is best. For what is best is that which sets your blood alight and makes the song of your soul soar. So yeah, we're getting a lot of like flying energy here, soaring, great heights, okay, that kind of thing. And that makes me think of that song, Such Great Heights by the Postal Service. Okay, let's go. What is best is that you know your own heart and know your own code and adhere as closely as possible to what is noble about you. There will not be time for all, space for all, love for all. You may protest. You may wonder, what of loving everyone unconditionally? But that is an illusion. Even in love, you must choose. So we say now you must sacrifice something. You must give up something that is precious. By doing so, make it beautiful. Make it worth it. Make it count. And make this deliberate. Do not play victim. Make your choice and be powerful and compassionate at once. Here's the part that was like, I was like, the curse. Since we are reading this in the reverse, there's a curse along with it. You doubt you can give this up. Perhaps you feel you are weak. Excuses have been your refuge before this time, but now you are ready. So something about making excuses coming through here. And then I also wanted to highlight where it said that there will not be time for all, space for all, love for all, because if you look at how small this little bucket is on this hot air balloon, it's like literally only she can fit in there. Nobody else can fit in there. Okay? Only this person. So yeah, interesting. To work with this sacrifice card, there's something you may need to give up. It could be that in order to do what you know to be right for your soul, you must let go of something that in many ways gratifies, excites, and soothes you. It could be the sacrifice of sleep in the morning to get up and run. It could be the sacrifice of the luxury of a paycheck in order to explore your true calling. It could be the letting go of comfort in order to explore. It could be the sacrifice of your personal time in order to devote yourself to one who needs your care at this time. Whatever it is, choose. And then note the sacrifice can be worked with and used to refine and polish your character so that you become more the offspring of angels than you already are. All right, let's continue and get some additional information out. We're going to just go straight to the tarot now. We're using the NYC Tarot today. Uh-oh. I do want to say that this is a deck that I got off of Etsy, and I think there's like a different NYC Tarot out now. I don't know if it was like trademark issues or whatever, but this is not the deck that's like popularly printed This is an indie deck, so yeah, I don't know. Shout out NYC. Anyway, let's find out. Spirit, tell us about Pile 2's ideal career path. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Spirit, tell us about Pile 2's ideal career path. Five of Wands in reverse. Interesting. Both of those came out in Pile 1, but not in the reverse. Well, this one came out in the reverse, this one did not, and they didn't come out like in this order, so I don't know. Okay, Spirit, tell us about Pile 2. Eight of Wands in reverse. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Queen of Cups. The Eight of Swords. We've got the Four of Swords. The Two of Wands in reverse. Anything else? We've got the Queen of Swords in reverse. Anything else, Spirit, about Pile 2's ideal career path? Six of Cups. All right. So the first thing that I'm getting here is that children could end up being really important in your career path, okay? We do have like the Queen of Cups here, which is like a motherly type of card, and we've also got the Six of Cups here, which like literally depicts kids on here. So working with children in some capacity, that could be something that's important to you. Page of Pentacles can also represent children as well. With that being here in reverse, I'm wondering if this is like problem child kind of energy. Some of you guys may end up working in like a healthcare type of field or like psychological type of field, something like that. Some of you guys may not even end up like, your career path could end up leading you towards being like a stay-at-home parent, okay? That might be part of like a sacrifice that you're making, is a sacrifice for your family in some way. But what I'm seeing about your career path is that, and I'm hearing the word prioritize, but I was going to say rest. I'm hearing prioritizing rest is coming through, okay? The way that this girl's hair is colored is really sticking out to me. So we could have some people who like to express themselves through their hair or through different colors. We could have some hairstylists here. Of course, you know, she's a tattoo artist, so I can say that as well. But I'm seeing like being at home, or like the need to be at home. And you may not actually love that. You may not like that. That might not be ideal for you. But something about being at home, whether that's working from home or staying at home with kids or something like that, working in a home-based setting. But it seems like there's a conscious choice to do this. And it's interesting because at first I thought like this Two of Wands person was like longing to be out there. But in the reverse, I'm kind of feeling like maybe they actually are okay with it. Maybe they are okay with being at home. It's like your own little world. The idea of being out like on a balcony or on a fire escape is like really strong, really strongly coming through. If I look at these two cards, we've got like those bars and that balcony fire escape kind of scenario on both of them. Bars also made me think of like prison. But not, I mean, of course some of you guys could have like a history to do with prison, especially since we have like this chain link fence also that is coming through. But I'm not seeing that as being, I'm not seeing it in terms of you having negative feelings about that, like about your experience with that. Some of you guys might work something to do with like the prison industrial complex or dismantling the prison industrial complex. Some of you guys might have criminal histories of some kind. Yeah. Interesting. Some of you guys may have been institutionalized at some point, okay? We're going to get into the whole career path aspect part in a little bit, but I'm just like seeing what kind of scenarios are coming through here, okay? I definitely see that you were stalled or at a standstill at some point with this Knight of Pentacles here in reverse. This is like not moving, okay? Things were not moving for a while. for some reason. So for some of you guys, you might have had to take a career break because you were being a stay-at-home parent. Some of you guys may have had to take a career break because you were institutionalized in some way, whether that was in a hospital because you were sick, or maybe you were, in prison, or something like that. Okay. It might have even just been for self-care type of reasons. Maybe you had to take a leave of absence. Okay. But I am seeing that things were at a standstill. Things were kind of stopped. There might have been a time when you weren't earning any money. You might have not had the energy to fight for a career or fight for yourself in some kind of way. Potential, the word I want to use is defeat, but I'm also this is not the Five of Swords. This is the Five of Wands here. So it's other people, I almost wanted to say outbidding you. That, I don't know where that came from, but I'm also getting other people, you losing something to other people, okay? And then also that being bad news with the Eight of Wands here in reverse. This is bad news. And I want to say bad news bears. This is bad news, okay? And it was a waste of time, whatever it is. This is a waste. Time was wasted, or time was not used wisely. And I know that that's weird to say, especially if you were a stay-at-home parent, okay? I know that that's weird to say, and that's harsh, and you may not entirely feel that way. But in terms of a career, right? A lot of people feel when they make a choice between their career and being a stay-at-home parent, it does negatively affect their career. Okay? So it's not being a stay-at-home parent is a waste of time. It's just in the context of career, you're not using that time for your career. Okay? So it's quote unquote wasted. It's not actually bad. It's just that the time was not used towards that thing. So if you think about for example, food waste. You buy some food, you don't use it, and then it has to go in the trash. So it's wasted. Okay? I hope that I'm not coming off as being harsh right now, but I think that you probably understand what I mean, okay? The upside of this quote-unquote wasted time or unused time, we'll maybe call it unused time, okay? Or time where you weren't earning, let's say that as well, a time where maybe you weren't earning things, earning money. You may have had time for self-care. You may have had time to get in touch with your feminine side. You may have had time to get in touch with your psychic or psychological side, okay? But I do think that you were self-conscious about this. I think that there were negative mindsets that were holding you back that made you have negative thoughts about your situation and what you were doing, okay? The saboteur and the whole thing about letting the hot air out of the balloon, and then also this Knight of Pentacles here, it's easing off the gas, being off the gas instead of chugging forward. It's you could be going higher, but you're choosing to, do something else. Go back down, or stay at the same level, or go back down, The way that a hot air balloon raises and lowers is the hotter that the air gets, the more it goes up. And then the cooler that the air gets, the more it goes down, right? So if you're letting the hot air out, it's you're floating downwards. So this is lowering. And then also we have the plane here, and it's taking off on this card, but in the reverse, it's you didn't make it off the ground. Something didn't make it off the ground. And not necessarily in a violent way. We're not talking a plane crash. We're just talking about something didn't make it off the ground. So your career at first maybe didn't make it off the ground, but possibly due to some insecurity or something like that. But I'm seeing that this time of rest, this time of being at home, this time of being closed off, having very strong boundaries, maybe saying no to a lot of things. And I'm seeing that there is something to do with choosing kids or children, okay? That could be that you make a choice to work with kids. Like I said, you make a choice to work with children. Maybe this has to do with you and your own children, okay? But I feel that song that's I believe the children are our future. that's coming through right now. And I think that without this time that you had, this like rest time or this time of not earning or whatever, I don't know if you would have chosen to do this thing with these kids, whatever it is. This also could have something to do with play, playfulness, making a house a home, gardening, nurturing something, okay? Nurturing something, growing something, enjoying life. That's what I'm getting here. The Six of Cups energy, okay? Childlike spirit. But not in a bad way, but like mentorship, teaching. Some of you guys like teaching could be, could be there as well, but teaching somebody something. Yeah. Okay. We've got some more cards that are going to come out. So let's go ahead and get those now. We've got here money manager. Ooh, interesting. So for those of you guys who maybe were like stay-at-home parents or whatever, you might have been the person who managed the budget or whatever, right? Let me go ahead and read from this card. Show it to you guys first. It says, this card could indicate your career or finances could take a giant leap forward. Okay, that would be good after like a time of maybe not earning or something like that. Consider careers in money management, banking, accounting, or anything in finance. You can expect a happy outcome when it comes to your finances. This is a very good card, especially since the only two Pentacles cards that we've had here have been in reverse, okay? And talking about sacrifices. So I think that during your time of maybe not earning things, you might have had an opportunity to learn a lot about money or to learn a lot about what it was like to be poor or living in poverty or how to stretch a dollar, how to make things work, how to make things shake, okay? And so with that being said, you could be teaching other people about money management. You could be working with money and managing money in some way, shape, or form. Also, you could be helping people learn how to say no to certain things, right? We mentioned saying no, either to yourself or to others. So you could be helping people learn how to budget or kind of figuring out what's important and what's not important. This is making me think of a episode of The Big Bang Theory where Raj, he was like living off of his parents for a long time. They were paying all of his bills, and then he decides that he's not going to do that anymore. But he's not very good at money management because, he's always just like swiped his credit card and his dad was going to pay it for him. So he basically gives Sheldon like executive decision making when it comes to his budget. And Sheldon made him a budget and he told him things that he could and could not spend his money on. And I'm kind of seeing you being in that same position as Sheldon is, where like you're helping direct people on what they should and shouldn't do, and you kind of may err more on the side of caution. And it's interesting that this saboteur came up because the idea of self-empowerment, money is like a self-empowerment tool. And then also like you kind of like thwarting other people's attempts at certain things, right? Because money mistakes can like really, especially if you don't learn how to manage money from when you're young, money mistakes can really ruin a person's life. And if they're uneducated about money, then it can be really bad. Speaking of, if you're into financial literacy, I do have an abundance journal, so go check that out. The link is in the description box below. If you're working on your money management or your money knowledge, it could definitely be very helpful for you. So yeah, go take a look. But anyway, shameless self-plug is over. Don't forget to subscribe and to like this video. Anyway, the idea of like sabotaging someone's wants, needs, and desires, I wouldn't say needs, but like desires, kind of like letting the wind out of somebody's sails. Like, for example, in the episode of Big Bang Theory, Raj really wanted to go to Comic-Con, but he just genuinely could not afford it. So Sheldon was like, you're not going this year. You can't buy a ticket. You're not going to go. And Raj was really upset about it, but like he understood Sheldon's reasoning. And yeah, it took the wind out of his sails, but he understood the reason behind it. So like Sheldon sabotaged Raj's desires to go to Comic-Con, and like he's learning how to sabotage, but in a way that's like actually helpful to other people. So something else that I'm seeing here is that you may have either been demoted or you may have felt like you were at, a stagnant place in your career, and then possibly you left and then ended up taking an entry-level job somewhere. Okay. And I know that this like sounds weird, especially coming from like an ideal career path reading, but I think it's important for you to remember that like everything happens for a reason. Okay, and sometimes the reason is to learn self-empowerment, learn how to empower yourself. Okay, so sometimes when we are given less, and I was about to say just given less, but I also want to say given less than we deserve, it's so that we can learn to appreciate what it is that we have. And I think that with this money manager card coming out, you may be learning to appreciate the value of a dollar, or learning to appreciate like the economy, or learning to appreciate sacrifice and the types of sacrifices that you and other people have to make in order to get the life that you want, the life of your dreams. Maybe even how expensive it is to have kids or things like that, right? So just remember, everything does happen for a reason. And so if you were beat out for a promotion, or you were beat out for something else, or you feel like you were received some bad news and kind of had to start over from square one in some way, just understand that like things happen for a reason, and that had to happen to you so that you could find this inner peace that I think kind of ended up coming from that, or will come from that. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this card out here. We've got gratitude. Girl, what was I just saying? See, I love that. I love it because it makes me feel like me and Spirit, I said this in Pile 1 too, we're like this. So yes, gratitude is important. And also we have like a pregnant lady in here as well. So children are really coming through, whether you end up working with children or you're having children of your own, they are very much coming through here. But yeah, learning to be grateful for what you have. I feel like some of you guys maybe didn't understand fully the value of a dollar when you were growing up, or when you were first in your work life and stuff like that, and you might have been like sabotaging your own finances or things like that, or just generally ungrateful for the things that you had. And now you're learning gratitude. And I think also gratitude for like friends and community as well. For some of you guys, like a really old friend could be a great support system for you here. Kind of how I was talking about with Raj and Sheldon. They didn't know each other growing up, but like, by the end of the series, they've been friends for like 15 years or something, So an old friend can help you gain some perspective, or can help kind of get you back on track. Okay, so yeah. They may even like call out your sabotaging kind of behaviors as well. This gratitude card is with the third eye chakra, the purple card. There's a lot of purple in this card, so purple in general could be important for you. Yeah, third eye chakra, being able to see into the future, being able to have like an inner knowing about certain things. And this woman here in the red, she has her hand like over her heart space as well. So I think this is also being able to see what really matters. I think that that's something that happens like when you've been sabotaged, or you've sabotaged yourself, and you figure out what it is that you really wanted, but then also you figure out like, okay, in the space where I am, now that this has happened, what is it that really, really matters? Because I think it can be easy to kind of like wallow in sorrow when things don't go your way. But this saboteur card is not in the reverse, it's in the upright. And so that makes me think that you have some sort of perspective when it comes to this. And the perspective is gratitude. The perspective is understanding what really matters. That having enough is okay. Not everything has to be, extravagant. Not everything has to be over the top. Not everything has to be expensive. Not everything has to be brand new. Right? Maybe learning how to repurpose things, how to recycle things, how to reuse things, how to renew things. How to use your resources better, whether that's money, clothing. You might have been very wasteful before as well, is something else that I'm getting. You might have had a period of wastefulness. And I was talking about that. I said waste of time, and then I talked about food waste. You might have been like the type of person who just like threw stuff away. Like if you thought it was broken, or if there was like, let's say that you had a piece of clothing that had a tiny hole in it. Instead of you mending the hole, you threw it away. Or something breaks, and instead of you trying to figure out how to fix it, you throw it away. And I think that this path that you went through in your career, where, like I said, maybe there was a demotion, or you were fired, or you ended up leaving a job and taking an entry-level job where you earned significantly less or something like that. Or there was a time when you weren't earning, or maybe you were institutionalized at some point. You learned how to make something out of nothing. You learned how to not only stretch a dollar, but how to repair the things that you have, or to renew or reuse or recycle the things that you had. And so this was important because it taught you how to value things. It taught you how to appreciate the things that you have. And also, again, like I said, what's really important, like having a roof over your head, you know, having food in your stomach, having clothing on your back, having friends, having family, having community, having people who can help you, people who you can help. Okay. So yes, there's something that went wrong, or, you know, whatever. Maybe you sabotaged yourself in a certain way, but it was necessary. Because now you have this perspective that is so valuable and that you can now share with other people. Okay? And I'm getting the sense that also, like, with this Queen of Swords here, almost like maybe some of you guys don't want to be honest about that. Maybe some of you guys don't want other people to know about it. And, you know, that's okay, I guess. That's fine. But I do think that, like, younger generations would benefit from the knowledge that you have now. Younger generations would benefit from knowing, whether that's just your own kids or if you did become a teacher of some kind or something like that. You know, the lessons that you've learned would serve other people very well. And so, you know, take that to mean what you will. But again, we do have like this pregnant lady in this card here. And so it's the idea of like knowing that you can pass something on to a new generation. Like I said, I believe the children are our future. There's this quote that's coming up to me right now. They attribute it to Confucius. I don't know how accurate that is, but they say, if your plan is for 1 year, plant rice. If your plan is for 10 years, plant trees. If your plan is for 100 years, educate children, right? So there's also this idea of like never wanting your kids or, you know, offspring, the people that you know, coming from your bloodline and from your family specifically, to ever go through what you went through. And so teaching them how to do better than what you did. And it's not enough to just like teach them the practicalities of it. Like, oh, here's how you save money, or here's how you repair a sock or whatever. But I think it's important to teach them the story behind it, of how you went through a period where you had nothing. You went through a period where you were broke or poor or in jail or wherever it was, or how you sabotaged your own career and, you know, were behind in some way, left behind in some way. Because that story makes things more real. It also is like more touching. It touches the heart. Like I said with the heart space, how she's touching her heart space here. It touches the heart. It can't just be this cerebral thing. It has to be from the heart. And so that requires you to, you know, open up. And I think that that scares you. But I think that when you think about the children and the future and things like that, then it will kind of open you up a little bit more. Some of you guys may end up like getting into like gardening, growing things. This may have something to do with like food scarcity. I also mentioned food waste as well, stuff like that. We have here flow. And I am going to say that it was in the reverse. I feel like your career is not destined to flow smoothly. For some reason, I just heard water birth. Water birth. I don't know what that's about, but there's some sort of disruption in the flow. That also I see with the 8 of Wands here as well. But water does eventually wear down anything that's in its way. Like you think about a rock in a stream. You think about the Grand Canyon. Water is very powerful, even if it is kind of like a slower moving, abrasive, I guess I'll say. You know, water turns rocks into sand. And so given time, this is very powerful. Okay? What seems like an obstacle now or a sabotage now can be overcome. And that is the, that's what we're thinking about here. Some of you guys might even be destined to be like motivational speakers, okay? Telling people about the hardships that you went through and how you overcame them. Yeah. Motivational speakers talking about gratitude, teaching people a new way to do things, people who maybe are down in the dumps like you once were or maybe are right now, about how to, get things back on track. But I think the most important thing here is to work on your self-esteem. Okay? There's a feeling of being trapped, feeling trapped in some way, and also feeling alone and lonely. And reconnecting with community is going to be very important with you. It's going to be very important for you. I'm going to read from the guidebook for Saboteur. Saboteur exposes fears and issues, oh my gosh, related to low self-esteem. What did I just say? See, me and Spirit were like this. Best buds. Anyway, Saboteur exposes, and I've never read this before, I promise you guys. Like, I have never read this page before in this book, but anyway. This is like, Eight of Swords is very much about self-esteem and feeling trapped and stuff like that. So, anyway. Exposes fears and issues related to low self-esteem that cause you to make choices that block your own empowerment and success. So yeah, that could be what I was talking about when like maybe you decided to get a new job that paid less or that was at a lower level than what you previously were because you kind of felt like things were stagnant or not moving, or there could have been, like I said, some sort of decision to commit a crime and then you end up going to jail, or some sort of situation that you didn't fully think through the ramifications of. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. And then here, when you make it an ally, you will find that it calls your attention to situations in which you're in danger of being sabotaged or of sabotaging yourself. So I did mention the idea of finding friends and community. Some of you guys may need to leave behind some friends or some old people who you get the sense are sabotaging you. And this is where the Queen of Swords in reverse comes in about having better boundaries, okay? Maybe spending some time alone. Some of you guys might have been like on house arrest for some reason, okay? Maybe spending some time at home, spending more time with your family, the people who really genuinely want to see you succeed, finding those people. You might be okay with kind of like scaling back from social life for a while because you want to find those people who genuinely see you for your heart and want the best for you and for, your future generations, your offspring, your life, right? The Shadow Saboteur, so in the reverse, this card manifests as self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. Everyone has this archetype. So that's why I'm getting like that motivational speaker energy, because it's like you're not alone. Other people can definitely relate to this. Even if you feel like your experience was like, I won't say if you feel like your experience was unique, but there are far fewer unique experiences than we actually think that they are. Number one, that's one thing, is that somewhere somebody in the world I think has experienced the same thing as you, even if you think that nobody else in the world or in history has ever experienced it. I can't promise you that somebody has, but like the likelihood that somebody else has is very high. And then also, there are so many people who are affected negatively by like the economy today, by the job market today, by the prison industrial complex, things like that, that you, by sharing your story, like you're going to connect with a lot of people. Even if this is like the whole situation where maybe you like left your career to be a stay-at-home mom or whatever, there are so many people who would identify with that. And I think that you can talk to people about, where something went wrong in your life, where maybe you made the wrong choice, or I won't say the wrong choice because again, every path has its merits, right? Where you made a choice that was not super beneficial. And I think that people would identify with it, yeah, so don't be afraid to share your story. I know self-esteem and feeling trapped could be a problem, but I think part of your ideal career path is to move past that. And then also to have really good boundaries, okay? For some of you guys, an old friend could be like very key here with the Six of Cups, and then also just like the energy that I'm getting off of this card. An old friend really could be very, very helpful to you. So yeah. And don't forget to make time for rest, rejuvenation. Some of you guys may have like had to take a step back from your work for health reasons, And a lot of people I think could identify with that as well. You know, this like, there's a Roman numeral 4 here on this card, and it made me think of like TV. So I don't know what TV has to do with it. Maybe something to do with TV. Ruined your career. You might have had like a bad media experience. You could have been watching too much TV or something. I don't know. But yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to like this video. And remember, everything happens for a reason. And also, I think that you are meant to inspire others and take the time to love on yourself, self-love. And I think that like with the Queen of Cups here, especially, you are very in tune with other people's emotions. You're very in tune with other people. You're very intuitive. And I think that that is something that you can develop and use along your career path. So don't be afraid of that. And don't be afraid of, you know, the good vibes between you and your people who are meant to be close to you. Believe in yourself. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I love you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Hey there, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. We are here to find out your ideal career path. So I was not expecting this when I first planned out the reading, but I kind of realized it before I got into pile 1. This is talking about the pathway that you'll take to your ideal career. Okay, it's not necessarily going to say what your ideal career is, but it's going to be about like the lessons that you learn along the way. You know, everything is like not usually very linear, so it might have some highs, some lows, some exciting things, some pitfalls, things like that. So we're looking at your ideal career path. Okay, so just to prepare you for what the reading is actually going to be like. This is the identifiers portion, so we're going to go ahead and grab our little lip bowl right here and get our identifiers out. If you've never been with me before, I'm the Empress of Fortune. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and watching this video. I'm super excited to have you here. The identifiers, they help you to confirm that your intuition was correct in choosing this pile. So I've got all these little slips here in this bowl, and at least one of the things that comes out should be like really familiar to you, significant to you somehow. It could have just shown up in your life over the past couple of weeks or months, but in a way that like was memorable. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Spirit, let's connect to my pile 3 people. Guides, angels, benevolent ancestors, and higher selves. Who's in pile 3? Who's in pile 3 on this ideal career path reading? Who are my pile 3 people? While I'm doing this is a great time for you to subscribe to the channel, to hit the thumbs up button, to like this video. When you subscribe, it makes you and I more connected, and when you like the video, it helps other people who may need to find it, see it on their browsing page. Spirit, is there anybody else in pile 3? Anybody else in pile 3? All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's do it to it. Okie dokie. All right. First and foremost, we have spinach. So spinach could be like your favorite food. It could be your favorite leafy green. You might have just eaten some spinach. Maybe you had like a spinach and kale smoothie or something recently. Maybe you just bought some. Maybe somebody just gifted you some spinach or something like that. Throat chakra. Oh, you also like maybe could have been learning a lot about spinach recently. Something, you know, that's the kind of thing that we're going for here. Throat chakra, you could have like some throat chakra work that you're doing. Maybe you're listening to, you know, throat chakra frequencies on YouTube. Maybe you're working on expanding your throat chakra. Maybe you've been feeling like your throat chakra is blocked. New leaf. This could literally be about leaves. Maybe you're watching this like in the springtime when the leaves are coming out again. Maybe you heard somebody say something about turning over a new leaf. Maybe you have plans to turn over a new leaf. Yeah. Okay, sunflower. Interesting. We're getting a lot of like plant energy here. We've got spinach, new leaf, sunflower. You could be really into gardening. You could be really into plants. Sunflowers could be your favorite flower. Maybe somebody just gifted you some sunflowers. You understand where I'm going with this, right? Yeah. Interesting. This is fun because we've never had this kind of energy on here before. You know, this is a timeless reading, but this is only maybe like my 33rd video, somewhere in the early 30s. Maybe you're in your early 30s and you're watching this, but yeah, this is like a new and interesting energy. And I think it's just so fitting that we have this background here with like the plants and stuff and the flowers. I think that's so cute. But interesting. We might have some like gardeners, horticulturalists in the mix. Wake Up in the Sky, Gucci Mane, Bruno Mars, and Kodak Black. That's a song. So you could really like that song. Maybe you heard it recently. Even if it was just in passing, like maybe the car that pulled up next to you was playing it or something like that. I want to say something about, obviously, a plane, Wake Up in the Sky, right? So airplanes, something like that. Bacon. That always makes me think of Kevin Bacon, but also just regular bacon. This Lullaby by Sarah Dessen. That's a book. 1212. That could be a time that you keep seeing or an angel number that you keep seeing. It also could be a date, December 12th. That might have some significance to you. Doctor by Remy Wolf. That's a song. I don't want to be your doctor. Okay. Swing, Swing by All American Rejects. That's a song. Swing, swing, swing from the tingles of my heart is crushed by a former love. God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You by NSYNC. That's also a song. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So you could have that in any of your personal planets or your north nodes. That would be Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. I guess, or Mercury. Mercury is a personal planet. I never include it though. Or your north node. Fresh air, there we go. You might spend a lot of time outside. That also makes me think about the Fresh Air podcast or radio show on NPR. So you could be a fan of that as well. Somebody might be like saying that you need to go get some fresh air. Maybe you know, are really obsessed with fresh air. You might keep your windows open a lot or something like that. Afternoon by Max Biancon. I'm just getting this like very outdoorsy energy here. I feel like you could be a person who really likes the outdoors. If that's not you, don't worry. Like obviously we have a whole bunch of other identifiers here that are on tap. They're ready. They're waiting for us. But I just want to say like the outdoorsy energy is very strong here. 10 Things I Hate About You. That's a movie starring Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger, R.I.P. Speaking of Julia Stiles, I have that song Satellite by Harry Styles stuck in my head. And like their last names aren't even spelled the same, but Styles, you know, it's coming. De La Soul, hip hop group, if you know, you know. Shopping Bags is coming through right now. One of their songs is called Shopping Bags. Gabrielle Union, she was also in 10 Things I Hate About You. Ooh, okay, all right, bestie. Okay. Driving at night. Sexy. Okay. Maybe you like to drive at nighttime. Maybe you're like an Uber driver, truck driver, something like that. You spend a lot of time driving at night. Maybe nighttime is your favorite time to drive, even if it's not for work. American Horror Story Season 1, Murder House. Specifically. That season was starring Connie Britton, Tessa Farmiga, some other people, Jessica Lange. I don't remember the other people's names, specifically the guys. I'm not remembering their names right now. Pranks and Punked. So you could be really into pranks, or maybe somebody played a prank on you. Punked was a TV show where Ashton Kutcher played pranks on celebrities a long time ago. It was on MTV. At least I think it was. Corny. So that makes me think of corn, but also just like being corny. Maybe somebody played a corny prank on you, or you're into corny pranks. That definitely makes me think of Winston from New Girl. $100. Maybe you recently received $100. Maybe you recently paid $100 for something or donated $100 to a cause. something like that. Pink velvet fabric. Spinning out, waiting for ya. That's from Satellite by Harry Styles. Diamond, Love is Blind, Gemstone, Engagement. Okay, Diamond, season 1, Love is Blind. There was a girl named Diamond on there. She was engaged to a guy named Carlton briefly. Yeah. Poppy seed bagel. That could be your favorite kind of bagel. Maybe you just ate one this morning. Doesn't have to be your favorite if it just, showed up in your life recently. So, The Climb by Miley Cyrus. It's the climb. That's from the Hannah Montana movie. Cheesy snacks. Yum. So like Cheez-Its, Cheetos, maybe just cheese in general, cheese and crackers, goldfish, that kind of thing. Taste, Tyga featuring Offset. So cheesy taste is coming through. I'm also thinking about like easy cheese, like the cheese in a can. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna come out, but there's a skit. It's not a skit. I don't know why I just thought it was a skit. There's a clip from Wife Swap called Fat Kid Loves Bacon. And the way that Wife Swap works is that like two families go on the show and the moms move to each other's houses for like a week or however long it is. I don't really know how long it is. I never really watched it, but I like loved this one clip from it. And the moms that got switched, like one of them was really like into health food and working out and the other one was not. And so when the health food mom gets to the other family's house, she's like going through their fridge and like throwing away all their bad food. And she goes, definitely no cheese in a can. She throws away the easy cheese. But I always that is just so silly to me. I don't know if Fat Kid Loves Bacon is going to come out. It is on here. That is the clip that I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. It's in the bowl. It might be out here. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But like, definitely no cheese in a can is coming through. I love how she says it. Bluebird by Miranda Lambert and Charles Bukowski, or just Bluebirds in general. So Bluebird by Miranda Lambert, that was a song. It's inspired by the poem Bluebird by Charles Bukowski. But you may just be into bird watching, seeing bluebirds. Like I said, we're getting a lot of outdoor energy here, so you could be a birder. Los Angeles, LA, baby. LA energy coming through. What do we have here? Drew Barrymore by SZA. Is it warm enough for you outside, baby? Yeah. We've had a couple of interruptions during this identifiers portion. I came back. We had, so you heard the doorbell ring, and then that was the guy who was coming to like check on our AC and stuff. And then I came back and I was filming, but then like all of a sudden I look up and the camera was like not on for some reason, but like I know it was on. I know I pressed record. I had done all of the identifiers. And now all of a sudden that footage is just like deleted. So I don't know what happened to it, but everything happens for a reason. We've had a few interruptions. Now I'm going to go back through the ones that I opened already and we'll read those. So we had Really Really by Kevin Gates, Energy by Drake, Pull Up by Abra, Roller Coaster, the number 10, which could be October, which would be like Libra or Scorpio energy. You could also be seeing 1010, live on the 10th floor, 10th street, apartment number 10. You could be born on the 10th. 10 could just be your favorite number, something like that. Maybe that's like your lucky lottery number. I don't know. Morris Chestnut here. Very handsome actor. Anderson .Paak. He's a musician. Substack. That is like a website where you can subscribe to writers and their articles. We have here Angela Bassett. She's a very famous and very beautiful, very talented actress. She was involved with American Horror Story a lot, not particularly season 1, but she was in several other seasons of American Horror Story. End of Time by Beyonce. Chad Michael Murray. He's an actor. He was like teen heartthrob type of actor. I don't feel like we've seen him in kind of a long time. I don't know where he's been. We've got here Breaking Free by Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens from High School Musical. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure that they did not actually sing on that song. At least Zac Efron, I don't think he did. But regardless. And I want to say there is like some Disney energy coming through. We have like 2 Disney theme songs, quote unquote, here from High School Musical and The Climb. That's from the Hannah Montana movie. We've also got Roller Coaster here. And then what else was I gonna say? Harry Potter world is coming out. We have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets right here. Oh, and then Randall Park. He is an actor. You may know him from the TV series Fresh Off the Boat. He played the father, Louis Wong. You also might know him from that movie called Always Be My Maybe. But in Fresh Off the Boat, the family moves to Orlando. And, you know, Orlando is where Disney World is. So we're getting like Disney World. It's also where Harry Potter World is. Disney World and Disneyland kind of energy because we also have LA. So you might be like a Disney person who's like really into Disney. Or maybe you have plans to go to Disney World, or maybe you recently just got back from Disney World or something like that. Picture by Sheryl Crow and Kid Rock. That is a song. And before, I was obviously like not going through these as fast, and I was singing a lot of the songs that came out. I'm not going to do that this time though. Because I'm just like, this is the second time, let me try and get through it. We've got Chucks. Those are supposed to be like Chuck Taylor's, like Converse shoes. But also just like anybody named Chuck could be relevant. And then also this makes me think of Chucky Finster from Rugrats. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. That's a movie. It's also a book. The movie stars Michael Cera and also Kat Dennings. Of course, like I said, we have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. That could be the book or the movie as well. Piano. You could be a piano player. You might be learning how to play the piano. Maybe there's like a specific song you've been trying to play on the piano recently. Maybe somebody played the piano for you, like a serenade or like a recital. You also recently could have gone to like a piano bar or maybe like a place called Pianos or something like that. We've got here Bon Iver, AUATC, for Ate Up All Their Cake. Mahershala Ali, he's another actor, another gorgeous actor. Nana by Trey Songz. What About Your Friends by TLC. Both of those are songs. Fall Out Boy, the pop punk band. We've got Lil Sebastian here. He was a mini horse that was like the unofficial, maybe official mascot of Pawnee, Indiana from that show Parks and Rec. We've got Hyphy here by Federation. That's a song. Shout out to the San Francisco Bay Area. We've got Voice. So any like maybe working with your voice, if you're a public speaker, you're a teacher, you're an actor, actress, singer, anything where you like use your voice as a, you know, essential part of your job. But also this makes me think of The Voice, the TV show, like the singing competition. We've got here Misfits. We have Paint. Misfits is a TV show. It's like a British TV show on E4 about these like young adults, I guess you would say, who get supernatural powers from like an electrical storm or something. Painting. You could be a painter yourself, and you may have like recently gone to see some paintings. So like maybe recently went to the museum. There might be a painting that like has really stuck with you that like you just love. You could be into art history or something like that. You could be, like I said, a painter, or like not even having to do fine art, but like maybe painting houses. Maybe you're painting your room, something like that. Just like even just doing watercolors or finger painting. And then last but not least, we have Bootsy Collins here. Iconic funk musician. If you know, you know. I'm also noticing that the initials MC could be significant. That also makes me think of like being an MC, like a master of ceremonies. But we have Miley Cyrus MC, we have Morris Chestnut MC. Of course, we got to think about the greatest MC of all, Mariah Carey. That is coming through too. But last but not least, I wanted to say that with throat chakra and voice both being here, you might have like recently lost your voice. You might be having issues with like a blocked throat chakra, or maybe you just found your voice. That could be something as well, like in an artistic sense, or maybe your voice just came back in like a medical sense, right, after laryngitis. Some of you watching might be like engaged or recently engaged. I'm also wondering if like maybe there was like an engagement prank or something like that. I don't know. All right, guys, I'm going to go write these down in my tarot journal. If you're interested in getting your very own tarot journal, I do have them for sale. They're in the description box below. You can go check those out. And I will see you guys in just a second. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Love you. Hey there, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here with me. Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the thumbs up button to like this video. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. We're actually going to use this card second. We're going to get our Archetypes cards out first. We're finding out your ideal career path. And I didn't mention this in the intro. I did mention it in the identifiers if you watched that, but we're talking about like the path that your career is going to take. We will mention, you know, different types of careers that come out. But this is about like the path, which it could be a winding road. We did have Sheryl Crow. We had Picture by Sheryl Crow and Kid Rock come out in the identifiers, but now I'm thinking about that song that she has. Every day is a winding road. That's coming through. So, you know, the path that takes us to, you know, where we're supposed to be in life is rarely actually linear. So we're going to be finding out more about your ideal career path. All right, let's see. Spirit, pile 3, my pile 3 people. Who is in pile 3? Tell us about their ideal career path, please. All right, we got Prince here, and it came out in the reverse. So this says, the light attribute is romantic charm and potential for power, but the shadow attribute is using power for self-aggrandizement. So we will be taking this in the shadow attribute since it did come out in the reverse. Actually, Spirit is telling me to take it upright. Interesting. Interesting. All right. So right away, I'm getting like some of you guys may have not only like family money or something like that, and that does not have to apply to you. If that's not true for you, that's okay. This reading still can be for you. But also there could be like the idea of something being like passed down to you, or maybe like your parents have a business or something like that, and they want you to come and run it with them, or something like that is coming through. The idea of inheriting something, even if it isn't something actually material, you could inherit some knowledge or a lifestyle that helps you along your career path. So for example, let's say that like your parents are doctors. They don't have necessarily their own, you know, private practice. Maybe they work at the hospital, but you inherited a lot of like medical knowledge from being their child, and so you decide to become a doctor too, or something similar, or work in healthcare as well, right? So I feel like this has to do with like working in a same or similar vein to something that your parents have done or currently do. That is something else that I'm getting. But I'm also getting maybe a lot of like parental expectations for you, even if you maybe don't want to do that, right? If you don't want to do what your parents are doing, there could be some sort of parental expectation for you. And that could kind of impact your career path. So another example that I'm getting is like, let's say that you come from an immigrant family and your parents really want you to like be, you know, a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or whatever, and you instead want to be something else, right? We had a lot of like outdoorsy energy coming through. So like maybe you want to be like a horticulturalist or a botanist or something, right? That like, not that they don't understand, but like maybe they don't understand it, or maybe they don't prefer it. Oh, we talked about fresh off the boat in the identifiers, because the dad, the actor who played the dad, his name is Randall Park, he came out in the identifiers. And in that show, the oldest son, Eddie, his parents, they were from this in the show, they were from China, they were from Taiwan. And they had a lot of expectations for their 3 sons. And Eddie, the oldest one, was very much like going against the grain, defying expectations. He just like was not the type of child that they ideally, he didn't have the drive, let's say that. He didn't have the drive that they ideally would have wanted him to have. He was really into rap music. He was really into food. He was really into, you know, just like living life. And meanwhile, his other 2 brothers were like more into the whole achievement thing. But even the middle brother, Ethan, at least I think his name was Ethan, he ended up wanting to be an actor when his parents wanted him to be like a doctor, lawyer, engineer kind of thing, right? Eddie, the oldest son, he ends up in real life, like this is based off, the show is based off of his real life. He ends up becoming like a Michelin star chef, or like a really famous chef or something like that. And then I don't know if the middle brother Ethan ends up becoming an actor, but like the youngest brother is the one who kind of like fulfills that parental ideal, right? They want him to quote unquote become Dr. President, right? That was like what they wanted him to be. At least his mom really wanted him to be that, played by Constance Wu. So like I'm getting that energy here of like your parents having really high expectations for you, whether you decide to fulfill them or not, but like a lot of responsibility being placed on your shoulders, possibly from a really young age, a lot of expectations being placed on your shoulders, possibly from a really young age. And yeah, okay. I don't know if you want to go along with that or not. I think that we'll get into that later on, and I can certainly read for both because we did get this, like I said, it came out in the reverse, and then Spirit kind of wants me to keep it upright. So I think I'm going to end up reading for both of those scenarios where like you and your parents want the same thing, and then you and your parents don't want the same thing. All right, let's see. I find it interesting also that like this prince here, he's holding like some flowers behind his back or whatever. So of course it does say like romantic charm and potential for power, but that makes me think a lot about like good manners, maybe hiding like your upbringing from people around you. And that also, speaking of Constance Wu, I don't know if you guys saw that movie, Crazy Rich Asians. In that movie, Constance Wu's character is dating this guy, and then they get engaged, which we did get Diamond and Engagement came out, actually. But they get engaged, and she ends up finding out that he is, like, literally insanely rich. Like, crazy rich. That's why it's called Crazy Rich Asians. But he hid that from her while they were dating, because he wanted her to like her for who she was. And so I'm getting the idea that you or somebody you know may be, you know, kind of like hiding their upbringing, hiding their status, hiding their class, something like that. Oh, that happened in Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist too. Nora, the girl played by Kat Dennings, she didn't want anybody to know at first, but her dad is like music royalty. He's like a very famous music producer in the show. And she didn't want anybody to know because people, when they find out, they treat her differently. So yeah, this could have something to do with like hiding who your parents are or what your parents have. You may or may not, we do also have $100 here, but I'm not going to put that out. You may or may not have access to that. Like we could have some trust fund kids in here. We could have some people who maybe don't really like what their parents do or don't really like how their parents act, and so they decided to kind of like go off on their own and, you know, kind of make their own way in the world, right? So I'm getting a lot of messages kind of like that are coming through. Something to do with like either nepotism or anti-nepotism coming through here. And then I do also want to say that when this first came out in the reverse, it made me think of Machiavelli's The Prince. I'm gonna put this out here, Really Really by Kevin Gates, because he says, all my diamonds shine because they're really diamonds. Bad bitches in line, they be really trying. They ask me if I'm high, I say really, really. Got money on my mind, I say really, really. I look like I've been balling because I'm really balling. I won't apologize, I'm not really sorry. Okay, so this also is giving me like, you know, all my shit is real, I own it, you know, and I'm not going to apologize for who I am and what I've done, whether it's grinding on my own or where I come from, right? So, yeah, we're getting that energy here for sure. I'm going to put Randall Park out here, right here. All my diamonds shine because they're really diamonds. Diamond, engagement, that kind of thing. Another line from the song, Really, Really by Kevin Gates, he says, bringing in money like I'm raking leaves. And we did have New Leaf came out in our identifiers as well. So yeah, money's coming through. Money is coming through here, okay? You could end up having a very lucrative career or a very lucrative financial life, however that comes about. Yeah, New Leaf right there. Okay. All right, so some of the lyrics from Energy by Drake, which also came out in the identifiers. You guys, this is like the most from the identifiers that we've had actually like resonate with the actual reading in a long time. But in that song, there's a few lines I want to read. He says, I got 2 mortgages, 30 million in total. And then he says later on, I bought this one a purse, I bought this one a truck, I bought this one a house, I bought this one a mall. I keep buying shit, just make sure you keep track of it all. I got bitches asking me about the code for the Wi-Fi so they can talk about their timeline and show me pictures of their friends just to tell me they ain't really friends. Ex-girl, she the female version of me. I got strippers in my life, but they virgins to me. So I feel like class could be very important to you, even if you don't necessarily show it on the outside. I feel like you might be the type of person who would only date within your class, possibly only within your social circle, but yeah, that kind of thing is like very important to you, is something that I'm getting here. All right, let's go here. I'm also thinking about that song New Soul by Yale Naim. I'm a new soul, I came into this strange world. All right, we got discipline here. Training, consistency, practice. Yes, okay, that's what I'm saying. Is I feel like you've been like trained up from young to take over or to do something, okay? Your parents, like I said, they could have like really drilled certain things into you. Like they could have really tried to instill certain values into you or certain ideals about a certain lifestyle, things like that. And yeah, some of you guys might be into like classic music or kind of like having like a more refined palate, quote unquote, in terms of taste. That doesn't have to be food taste. It could be taste for anything. And I definitely see you having kind of like a serious approach to life, like a serious kind of attitude, a serious approach to life, being a disciplined person who really takes care in terms of their habits that they form and the habits that they want to cultivate. You could be very focused on like self-improvement, self-development, that kind of thing. And I think you take yourself pretty seriously. You take your craft pretty seriously. I think you take your work pretty seriously, whatever that may be. And it could be because it has ramifications and responsibilities that could be far and wide reaching, okay? Whether that is like, let's say that you own a business or, you know, your parents own a business that you're, you know, being trained to take over and there are 1,000 employees in that business. And if the business goes under, then all of a sudden 1,000 people are out of a job. Or let's say that you're a community servant, which a prince is technically a community servant, or at least they should be, right? And if you don't do your job well, then the community suffers, right? So I think that you have like this seriousness about you and about your work that you like really take to heart, and you want to be good at your job. You want to be good at whatever it is you do. And you are very, very the intense feels like the wrong word, but your intentions are there to do the best that you can, okay? So yeah, even if it is like you're a musician, you want to do the best you can for your fans or whatever it is, right? So, yeah. Now thinking also of Drake, you know, people would say like rap god, rap royalty, things like that. So yeah, you, even if like, let's say that the example where I said like something to do with inheritance or your parents is not true, you could have reached or have aspirations to reach a really high position, a position of note, a position of quote unquote integrity, a position of importance. I almost just wanted to say of import. Position of import. Within your industry or your community or just in the world in general. Okay, interesting. I also think it's interesting that like the prince here, we're seeing their back, we're not seeing their face. So for some of you guys, this could be like a faceless situation where you're like more behind the scenes about certain things. But it's interesting because you think of a prince as like, you know, facing the public, right? However, you know, the prince is also not usually there doing like the day-to-day work. So I think that you would probably be avoiding that. Princes can be, you know, diplomatic. They could be working on diplomatic types of things, brokering deals or, you know, mediating certain things between like different groups, different countries, that kind of thing. But this also makes me think about like having something up your sleeve, having something that you don't want other people to know about, that you don't want other people to see. There is like a thought about dishonesty coming through here. as well. Yeah, interesting. Possible trickery in some cases. And then, of course, with the shadow attribute, it does say using power for self-aggrandizement. So it just makes me think of like, this is not having bad intentions particularly, but having secret intentions or having intentions that wouldn't benefit the other party. Okay, so yeah, let's see. And with like this lightning here in the back on this card, like the power is coming through. This could be like a desire for power. This could be just like being very powerful. I'm now thinking about Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know, she was the one who like, she's the princess of the Fire Nation, and she had the ability to like shoot lightning and stuff. And she was like very power hungry. But yeah, like I'm getting that kind of like intensity in that kind of way. And she was always training. She was very consistent. She was like a firebending master before her brother was, and her brother was older than her, right? So yeah, it's coming through right now. I'm getting very like high strung type of energy as well. I'm wondering wasn't there a movie? Hold on. So I'm thinking about this movie, and at least I think this is the movie. It's called The Perfection. It was on Netflix, or maybe still is on Netflix. I've never seen this movie, but it was about two cellists, and it's supposed to be a horror film, and this girl here is playing the cello. And it's like about these two girls who are cellists, and like here's the description. Troubled musical prodigy Charlotte returns to a prestigious music school to find star pupil Lizzie has taken her place, and the pair embark down a sinister path. That's the vibes that I'm getting here. And I also want to go back to the whole prince thing and what I was talking about with like fresh off the boat. Your parents could have had really high expectations for you when you were young because you may have shown exceptional abilities from when you were young. That doesn't mean that like they had a lot of money. It doesn't mean that they had, you know, all this stuff to pass down to you, but because you had these like exceptional abilities from when you were younger, they put a lot of expectations on you. And so you yourself could have been a prodigy. And I mentioned that the youngest brother, I don't remember what his name was. In Fresh Off the Boat, he was like a prodigy, and that's the one who they wanted to be like Dr. President, right? But he was like extremely smart, skipping grades, all this kind of stuff, right? So you could have been a gifted child. And, you know, sometimes that can cause people to become very high strung, okay? To kind of always want to be the best, to put other people down, to kind of maintain their space in the world and that kind of thing. You know, thinking about princes and like the fight for the throne, there have been a lot of times in history and in dramas and stuff as well where like, you know, people who were in line for the throne suddenly, you know, die or disappear or whatever because somebody else is plotting on them, right? Energy by Drake. I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of people trying to drain me of my energy, okay? Trying to take away from a nigga, okay? So yes, there could be people who are plotting on your downfall, who are praying for your downfall. You could be praying for somebody else's downfall. So that's why it's like, there's very clearly double-edged sword kind of energy here with this Prince card, because if you are nurtured properly, then you can grow into this like really wonderful servant for the community who just also happens to have a lot of benefits to that job and to that role and that position in life. But there also can be where power takes over, the desire for power takes over, and you use it, quote unquote, for self-aggrandizement. Okay, so yes. Okay, let's see. Ooh. This is like drama. I've never seen The Crown, but it kind of makes me want to watch The Crown. I'm going to read from the Discipline card here. The number 34 coming out. Let's see what else we see here. All right, I'm going to just read the short part. And it says, the blessing of this card, since it came out in the upright. You have the ability to create a program of change and stick to it. And after a period of time, it will transform from painful to pleasurable. You see how it starts off with like a storm here and then the sky clears on the right-hand side, right? So transformation from painful to pleasurable. The freedom and strength it affords you far outweigh the pain you experience in the short term. So yeah, there's definitely growing pains here. You know, like when a prince is growing up, they have a lot of responsibilities. They have a lot of things that they have to learn. But then once they become the king, you know, they have a lot more power, so they can get other people to do stuff for them. And also things become second nature. It's like when you are practicing an instrument or learning something new, at first, you're going to fumble, you're going to, you know, make wrong moves or missteps, but then eventually muscle memory kicks in and it becomes about something else. It's not about learning the fundamentals anymore. It's about something larger, and the fundamentals kind of just like become very natural to you. Working with this card, it is time to lay a plan down to create structure and to stick to commitments. You must clear doubt and into the space its absence create. You must clear doubt and into the space its absence creates. Poor action. All right, interesting. All right, I think it's time for us to get the tarot out. Let's go ahead and do that. We are using the NYC Tarot today, and I want to just say this. This was an indie deck that I got off of Etsy. I think that there's like a different NYC Tarot out now. I don't know if there was like copyright issues or trademark issues or whatever, but I don't know if this deck is available anymore even. So I'm glad that I got it when it was, because I love this deck so much. And I looked at the other NYC Tarot, the one that's like available in bookstores and like Barnes & Noble and stuff, and it's not my cup of tea. But anyway, shout out to the creator of this deck. Thank you, love you. I like this deck for this reading because it's like about, you know, hustlers. NYC is like New York City. It's like a space for, you know, hustlers, grinders, people out there trying to make their dreams work. But it also is a place for the uber rich, right? Especially now in these days, it's 2024 as I'm filming this. This is a timeless reading, but especially now in these days, you know, it's getting just more and more expensive to live in New York. So, interesting. All right, let's see. Spirit, what message do you have for pile 3 about their ideal career path? What message do you have for them about their ideal career path? I'm going to shuffle this one more time. These do not want to stay up here. That's part of the reason why I don't like always bring a whole bunch of them out. Anyway, yeah, exclusivity is coming through pretty strongly as well. I don't know how I want to cut this. What is this? What are we doing here? All right, let's do it like this. Spirit, can you tell me about pile 3, their ideal career path, please? All right, we got the Queen of Wands in reverse. We got the Ten of Cups here in reverse. So you could have had a parent that was like particularly hard on you. This might be your mother. You also may not have like the happiest family life. That's not to say that your family isn't happy or isn't supportive, but it definitely feels like there's something off or something wrong. We've got here the Two of Pentacles. You could be looking to change that dynamic. There also could be a lack of confidence here with the Queen of Wands in reverse. And that could be stemming from something to do with your family dynamic. We've got here the Seven of Cups. Big dreams, baby. Page of Wands in reverse. You might have had like a very active imagination when you were younger, and you might not have been allowed or able to kind of like experiment with that or act things out. Let's see what else we've got here. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Page of Wands. We've got the Ace of Swords. Queen of Swords. Anything else for the ideal career? All right, pile 3. So we keep getting interrupted for whatever reason. Unclear. But like I said, I think everything happens for a reason. If you weren't here for the identifiers, then we got interrupted a few times during that too. So there could be some sort of like career interruption that you've had, or just an interruption in your path. I do want to reiterate that you could be the type of person who comes from privilege or has very close kind of attunement to the concept of privilege, okay? Whether you yourself benefit from it or not, I think you could have attunement to the concept of it. And if you do have privilege, you might be the type of person who does use it to exert your power over other people, especially with this Queen of Wands here. it's Marsha P. Johnson holding a power to the people sign. But here in the reverse, it would be like, you could say that you represent other people, but really you're out for yourself, that kind of thing. Or it could just be, I was getting like slight bullying energy here, like Mean Girls kind of energy, especially since on this card it literally says Regina. So Regina George coming through as well. There could be like some aggression or some anger issues involved. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I was like definitely just about to laugh, and that's like so not funny. I don't understand why I was just about to laugh just now. You might have like a history of like laughing at inappropriate times, or like laughing when people express themselves or express their anger to you, because I think that you just have like a very different perspective on certain things due to your upbringing. And so, yeah, you may not like connect with people properly in that kind of sense sometimes, or in that kind of way. Something else that's sticking out to me is that both of these cards have black cats on them. So you know how they have that whole like black cat golden retriever thing going around on TikTok, where it's like the black cat girlfriend and the golden retriever boyfriend? You're giving off the black cat girlfriend kind of energy, black cat kind of thing. And I'm getting also blessing and a curse, or even gift and a curse. That is a song by Megan Thee Stallion, Gift and a Curse. She's like, fucking with me is a gift and a curse. I'm wondering if you had kind of like two different sides of you growing up. Some of you guys may have suffered from maybe like depressive symptoms when you were growing up. I'm also noticing that we have similar imagery on these two cards as well when it comes to like the sky. You see how on this card it's like we talked about how the sky is like dark on this side and then it's lightening up, and then same thing is going on here. So things like getting easier in life as you get older. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. I feel like I've sung that song on this channel before. I don't know why. Probably because I have, but it's like not in the bowl. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, you may have had like kind of like a tough childhood is what I'm getting. Even if you were privileged or you were gifted or whatever, I feel like just like the amount of pressure that was placed on you made what other people would think would be a happy childhood or a happy family into one that was like not the happiest for you. You may have gotten an offer and it was a good offer to maybe go somewhere or do something else. It could have had to do with love. Could have had to do with like something that you were really emotionally invested in. Or this could have been a person who kind of came in with an offer for you. And if that's the case, it seems like you said yes. Or this could be on its way towards you. An offer could be on its way towards you. And if it is, then the offer is a good offer, and a yes could be a really good idea, because it will kind of put you in a position where you get to write your own story and you get to kind of express yourself the way that you want, do what you want, be the person that you want, instead of being kind of like the person that you were expected to be. Because I am getting like, it's this idea of like heavy is the head that holds the crown, right? And I think that that level of responsibility for you was really detrimental. You just wanted to like be free to pursue your passions is what I'm getting here. And I think that you have had or will have that opportunity coming in soon. And I think in doing so, you're going to be able to reconnect with your emotional self, your emotional body. I think that this offer that either already has come towards you or it will be coming towards you, you're going to be able to see like logically why it's a good idea. You may be able to use your voice for it. We did get voice in the identifiers. It may have something to do with your voice. It could be something like teaching or writing, or, you know, something like law or something logical or data, that kind of thing. But I think that it's going to allow you to make a logical step forward that you can easily explain to other people. People are not going to really question why you decided to make this choice, why you decided to take this choice, because it will make sense. It will make sense. However, that being said, things may not always go your way as a result of you taking this option. That's not to say that it's a bad option or it's the wrong option, but you know, I mentioned earlier, every day is a winding road. Things do go up and down, and so I think that there could be a kind of unlucky period of time. But that is not going to, you know, dampen your passions or anything. I think that it will teach you that you can do anything and that you have an immense level of power. And I think that you're going to learn how to manifest really, really well as well. If this is a relationship, let's say that it's a relationship that kind of like takes you to a different space or different place or something like that, it may not work out. There could be a failed relationship here. And that being the case, we do end on this Queen of Cups, which we have more cards coming out, so there's going to be additional interpretations as well. But ending on a Queen of Cups is like a very strong foot to stand on, because I feel like you are going from this like kind of stifled child who doesn't get to, you know, have as much fun as they want to, or doesn't get to kind of like pursue their dreams or indulge in their fantasies, or doesn't get to daydream and stuff like that, to somebody who has a lot more of an emotional balance and who's much more in touch with their emotions. Yeah, I feel like, especially as a child, you had to hide a lot of like your interests or hide a lot of your sensitivity. And that is why it's like he's hiding this, you know, bouquet of flowers behind his back and we can't see his face, because it's like there's this sensitivity to him that we're not able to see, or that he doesn't want us to see. And I think that by the time that you end your career path, or you're on your ideal career path, you'll be able to come into that fully emotional self. You'll still have all of like the logic that you have here from this Queen of Swords, but you'll learn how to manifest really well, and you'll end up having like a very strong intuition, a very strong creative body too. I think that you could end up working in a creative field. Some of you guys might end up being, you know, light workers, tarot readers yourselves as well. Shout out to my tarot journal. Go check that out in the description box below. And I think that you're also going to come to the realization that like money isn't everything. Because especially if you did grow up from a privileged background, you've kind of already realized, or you will come to realize, that like money is not going to buy you happiness. Money can't necessarily buy you happiness. Yes, it can make life a lot easier in a lot of different respects, but it also can make life a lot harder in other respects, right? But I think that you're going to have this like epiphany almost, or this realization that money is not going to compensate for a lack of inner balance, and that sometimes it's okay to start over, and also that sometimes, you know, if you're very passionate about something, it makes it easier to manifest that thing and manifest what it is that you want about that thing. All right, I'm going to bring out these other cards that we have here. I got some pre-pulled oracle cards. So we have here teacher. Ooh, what did I say? I said so you guys might be teachers. All right, it says, you have the ability to motivate others to strive to uncover their true potential. Consider careers in teaching, coaching, mentorship, or being a motivational speaker. What did I say about this voice here? Yes. You've learned much about money. This is a time to put it into practice. Yeah. So I feel like you definitely had, this is like a calling here. This Ace of Swords, this is like a calling, and you were offered something and you were very called towards it. And I think that you were very good at whatever that thing is that you do. You know what's so interesting? I never noticed this before, but in this picture, there's actually like the Rider-Waite Queen of Swords in the background. That, to my knowledge, is not on any of the other cards. And so it's like this double view, this double vision. You're able to see things from multiple sides is something that I'm getting here. Able to see benefits and drawbacks of certain things. And if you did come from, let's say like you came from a more privileged background or something like that, and let's give the example again that like your parents wanted you to be, you know, doctor, lawyer, engineer. In a lot of places, teachers don't make that much money. And so you may have like sacrificed that attachment to money and to material things in order to fulfill your calling. Whether this is like actually teaching or not. Not everybody who, you know, sees this pile is going to be a teacher, of course, but it's this idea of answering your calling, following the thing that makes you feel the best and that you have a true passion for, even if it's not the thing that makes you the most money or makes you feel as privileged as you used to, if it's not like that high of a status type of job, you know. Teachers are typically like, they're well respected for the most part, you know, in theory, but there's a lot of people who talk bad about them. We have, you know, a lot of rappers will talk bad about their teachers. You know, even a lot of parents and stuff will always say like, oh, you know, their teacher isn't, you know, doing right by them and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes that's true, you know, but in theory, society has a lot of respect for teachers, but it's not always true in practice. And you can see that by the way that teachers are paid, you know? So I feel like there is this feeling of like, yes, this is my calling, but I also feel kind of like unlucky in this scenario. But it's something that like I want, and I feel very emotional about this. I'm noticing we have a couple of pretzels on these cards here. There's a pretzel here. There's a pretzel here as well. And right here. And one of them is upside down and one of them is right side up. And to me that just like, you know, pretzels are like twisted. They're twisted up. Oh, and there's even a stack of pretzels right here too. That is kind of hard to see, but it's a stack of pretzels right there. And so it's being twisted. It's like this idea of being twisted up and maybe things like not being a straight line as we've talked about before, but also, again, seeing things from multiple sides. Not only here in this Queen of Swords, like we have one queen who's facing this way. That's the one right here. And then we have this one queen who's facing the other way. But the pretzels, it's like they're seeing it from this up, the top, they're seeing it from the bottom, they're seeing it from the sides. And so I don't know if you guys have ever read The Phantom Toll Booth, but there was this one character in there, I want to say his name was like Alec Bing or something like that. And he could like float around and he would talk about how he could like see things from multiple perspectives. And I think that you have that ability. And maybe people don't know that you have like the background that you have, or they don't know that you have certain perspectives, but like it's a gift that you have that. I also get the feeling that you don't mind like learning something new, especially with practice being here. You might be the type of person who starts over a lot in life, like starts over with new things a lot, or who juggles a couple different things at a time in your career path. And you don't mind learning something new as long as it feels fulfilling to you, you know? We did get painting came out in the identifiers, and this girl here, she's got like watercolor paints right here next to her. So I do think some of you guys could be like an artist at heart. You might be the type of person who like takes random jobs to kind of support yourself while you are working on your art. And it doesn't have to be visual art, it can be any type of art. But yeah, you might be the type of person who doesn't mind that kind of thing because it allows you to like live your authentic truth. All right, let's see what else we have here. We're gonna go with this Chakra Wisdom Oracle. Acceptance. Interesting. I'm going to scoot some of these cards over. All right, so this card here is a story about this girl named Cherry who she kind of feels like there's always like something missing from her life, and then this angel comes and like tells her maybe your life is supposed to look different than what you thought it was going to look like maybe you're supposed to have a heart-shaped pie instead of a round pie, you know. And that kind of like guidance makes Cherry feel a lot better. And I think that you might be the type of person who either you expected life to go a certain way or you thought life was going to go a certain way until somebody else came and showed you that things could be different. And I'm thinking that that's this Knight of Cups person here. I feel like somebody came and showed you that things could be in a different way. And it was very impactful to you. And even if, like, let's say that was like a romantic connection or a friendship or something, even if that didn't work out, it still like allowed you to be grounded in the knowledge that something different was possible than what you thought you had to do. Because I feel like if you went the way that like your parents or whoever expected you to go, then you would have been like really power hungry and stuff like that. Whereas now you're like calm and at peace, you know? All right, so I am going to read the little story that goes along with this acceptance card. It's called Cherry Heart, and it's from the root chakra. So this is about security and things like that. Which is like, when we think about career and security and stuff like that, job security is kind of like a myth in a lot of ways. Unless you find a way to like truly support yourself, job security is kind of a myth. You know, you may think that you have like a permanent job and then one day you get laid off, right? That happens to people all the time, right? So unless you find yourself like a way to maybe like own your own business or be, you know, self-sufficient in some kind of way, you have to figure out a way to make yourself secure. And I think that you are the type of person who's like, as long as all my basic needs are paid for and I can pursue what my heart's passion is and what I really want to do, whether that is adventure, travel, artistry, whatever, then you're the type of person, as long as your basic needs are paid for, you're going to go ahead and just make sure that basic needs are done and you can do whatever you want. But the card says, when I accept myself, I find love. All right, let's go ahead and get this card out here. Success. Ooh, some of you guys could be human design projectors. Success is the signature for a human design projector. Let me see if I can move these over a little bit. Give us a little space. All right, so I'm going to read about the orange cards, and I'm also going to read about this success card just in general. Orange combines the fiery energy of red with the optimism of yellow. Like a sunrise signaling a new day, which we totally have that here. We've got that in this card here. We talked about the sky. We have that here in this card as well. Like a sunrise signaling a new day or a burst of citrus, it can elicit feelings of warmth, happiness, and high energy. As a friendly, playful hue, orange can give off a sense of joy when worn. Like red, orange is a stimulating color. In fact, it is sometimes used in fast food restaurants as a device to keep people moving. Working with orange and color magic can help curb procrastination, giving you a boost of energy in order to move forward with your goals. When orange cards come up, it's a sign to really tap into joy and playfulness during this period of your life. That makes a lot of sense because, especially with this Page of Wands here in reverse, it makes me feel like you were not able to play when you were younger. Like, you weren't, you know, maybe you couldn't go outside and play with the other kids or whatever. Like, a prince, if you think about it, they are really kind of like separated from other people because there aren't going to be any other princes in their immediate vicinity, probably, you know, like they're the prince, and maybe they have like brothers and sisters and stuff that they can play with. There might also be some other kids who, you know, their parents are like really high ranking, like military officials or whatever, right? But they're very much going to be staying in their own social circle. And so the amount of like fun and freedom that they have as a child is not going to be the same as a regular kid. And I kind of feel like that's the scenario that you had, was that you didn't have a lot of fun and freedom afforded to you when you were a younger child. For some of you guys also, this could have been like a repression of sexuality as well. I'm getting two. And so maybe somebody came along and showed you, like I said, that there was a different way to live, and you maybe didn't accept yourself for your sexuality maybe early on. And that is something that could end up playing a factor into your career later on, or into your self-expression, your artistry, or whatever it is that you do. Or if you're a teacher, into, you know, the way that you teach and you relate to those that you work with, right? Orange is full of energy, which can be invigorating but also overstimulating. How are these energies emerging in your life right now? Are you feeling excited, or is the energy of feeling a little too intense? If it's too intense, take a moment to release that energy with a sense of play. Now is the time to take a moment and celebrate all the joy that is apparent within your life in all the forms that it takes. So let's read it specifically about success. The success card signals that it's time to tap into the warm feeling of accomplishment after working incredibly hard and pushing toward your goal. Appreciate your accomplishment and the growth you have experienced along the way. So interesting also, I think we have two images of rainbows here. We've got one here on this card, and we've got the rainbow here on this card. So I do see like success and happiness as kind of like your birthright. Interesting that I'm using the word birthright when we have Prince and we've been talking about inheritances and stuff. But because you have had this like training and this the way I wanted to say it was like bent. I don't know why I wanted to use that word, but like a bent toward training, consistency, and practice. No matter what you choose to do, you are going to be successful because you have that discipline that's going to get you where you want to go. So it's like, I wanted to say this earlier, but I said it in pile 2 because Countess Luann de Lesseps, she came out, I want to say in pile 2, and she had that whole song. She's from Real Housewives of New York, if you don't know, but she had that song where she's like, money can't buy you class. And when you're thinking about the concept of class, you know, it's like your upbringing, it's the things that you learn being part of a certain social group that has certain resources. And I think that it's just like ingrained in who you are that you will be successful. Even if you gave away or gave up all of your family's money, or, you know, you decided that you didn't want it or whatever, it's these lessons that you were taught when you were younger about discipline, about training, consistency, and practice. Those are the things that are going to make you successful. And I see that I see you teaching them to other people, either through your work or through your legacy. I see you not being afraid to step out and to do new things, to try new things. And I see you also and doing that because you know that you can succeed in them. And then I also see you teaching that to young people here with this Page of Pentacles. It's like, you know, this kid is over here, he's at the court practicing his three-pointers, practicing his free throws and all that kind of stuff time after time because he wants to be great. I almost said the greatest. Now that's making me think of that song, The Greatest by Cat Power. But yeah, as long as you continue to employ this discipline that you have naturally, you will be successful in your career path. Even if you're starting over 1,000,000 times, even if it is hard to accept yourself for who you are at first, once you do that, you'll be leading yourself towards success because it can take a different perspective. I think you kind of have to change the way that you're looking at certain things. And I think it's interesting that with both of these cards, the Chariot, the Acceptance card, and the Knight of Cups card, it's like somebody else kind of coming in and offering you a different perspective. Like this angel comes in and offers Chariot a different perspective about what her life is supposed to look like. And I interpreted the Knight of Cups as that same thing. Somebody kind of coming in and offering you this idea of like, it could be different. It could be so much better. It could be XYZ, you know? So yeah, I think you do have to change your perspective. And speaking of changing perspectives, I'm actually now going to change to kind of like if I were to read this prince in the reverse in the shadow attribute, right? Because it did come out that way originally. So I want to talk about like authoritarianism, and I want to talk about the idea of using discipline as a way to punish yourself and to punish other people. Okay? So, when somebody's like drunk on power, they're, really taking power to an extreme level and like wanting to do anything in order to make themselves feel bigger, feel better, or whatever, they can start to use their power in very scary ways. And I'm wondering if that is something that you have done in the past or that you have recognized your own potential to do. Whether or not you've actually done that, you have the potential to do that. And discipline and disciplinary action, taking disciplinary action against another person, especially in like the name of like justice or whatever, is interesting because we actually don't have the justice card here. So it's like unjustified disciplinary action, but like in the name of the crown, in the name of justice, in the name of higher ideals is coming through. But really it is unjustified. And so it's like maybe there's the idea of like if you're not allowed to have fun, nobody else is allowed to have fun either, right? It's like when Regina George told Gretchen, I wear hoops. Those are my types of earrings. You can't wear them, right? It's just like this weird desire or need to like keep other people under your thumb or something like that for literally no reason other than to make yourself feel better or bigger, okay? To make yourself feel more powerful because you think things are supposed to look a certain way. You think things are supposed to be a certain way. And so this is like a repression of who you really are. And so you're overly disciplined because of it, and you overly discipline other people. And I even just heard like pocket watching, which is like when you're watching how much money somebody else spends or whatever. You're overly disciplined, or you overly discipline other people because you haven't accepted yourself and you haven't accepted who you really are. And so you feel the need to, exercise control outside of yourself because you don't have control over your own true desires, your own true wants, needs, and feelings. And I think that by the end of your ideal career path, that will have changed because you'll come into this Queen of Cups energy where you have that balance and you have that sense of being attuned to your own energy. And so you won't feel the need to exert power over other people anymore. For some of you guys, this is like what it is you really want to do in life. For some of you guys, this is definitely about a sexuality. For others of you, it could just be about how you present to the world or the things that you believe or believe in. I think this also has to do with not wanting or needing validation from other people. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the idea of success because success is so subjective. It means different things to different people. I think to a lot of people it can mean the same thing, but it really is like different to everybody. And I think that once you figure out what your own definition of success is, you'll have a lot easier time and better time coming into emotional harmony with yourself. And that's your ideal career path, is finding a way to be emotionally in tune with yourself and doing the things that, light your soul on fire, the things that make you feel happy and passionate, and not wanting to exert nefarious power over other people or inflicting pain onto somebody else just because. I feel like you're a very convincing person. Some of you guys could actually end up being lawyers. Something to do with like advocacy, legal work, helping other people with like legal issues that is coming through. And it might be that you decide to be like a public defender or the type of lawyer who doesn't make a lot of money, right? Maybe your parents expected you to be the type of lawyer who does make a lot of money. And you've decided to kind of choose the other path and be the type of lawyer who helps people who are disenfranchised and in need or something like that, right? But yeah, I'm seeing that you're a very convincing person and that you have the ability to kind of like use your powers for good or to use your powers for evil. And you might have used them for evil at one point. You really might have. But I think that your ideal career path is to come around and use your powers for good to help other people. So, success is on the horizon for you. And there's also something else that I'm getting here about believing in yourself. I remember, I don't remember if this was like a YouTube short or if it was like just a clip that was included in a YouTube video or something, but there was this streamer. I don't know who it was. There was this streamer though, and he was talking about his streaming journey and how he was like, all you need is to stay consistent and to believe in yourself. And we do have consistency here on this card, on the discipline card. He said, stay consistent and believe in yourself. And if you, as long as you do those two things, you will be successful. And I've also heard other people say things like the difference between me and them is that I didn't give up, right? Especially when it comes to like following a dream. They're like, the difference between me and that other person who didn't reach success is that I never gave up. And going back to the streamer said something like, for the first year that he was streaming, he only had one viewer the entire time, the first year. And that one viewer was his dad. And now he was making the video when he had reached like 5 million or something like that. And he was like, if I didn't believe in myself and if I gave up, then I never would have reached 5 million. I never would be here, talking to you guys. And it's like that whole first year, basically he had so many, he lacked support. He didn't have anybody besides his dad who was watching him. And he really could have given up at any point in time and said, whatever, maybe this isn't for me. I gave it a year and it didn't pan out to anything. But he decided to stay consistent. He didn't give up and he believed in himself. And there he was at like his 5 million followers or 5 million subscribers or whatever. And he found the success that he was looking for and that he knew he was capable of in a very kind of like unconventional type of way. And with this Page of Pentacles here, it's like this message of give it time. Give yourself space to learn and give it time. And stay consistent. Remember we talked about how he's like shooting 3-pointers and free throws and stuff, and he's working on perfecting his game, Give it time. A lot of kids who play basketball are not going to make it to the NBA, but some of them do, And so you just kind of have to think about to yourself like, well, I could be the one that does. I could be one who does. And I'm going to keep practicing and I'm going to keep working on it and I'm just going to give it time and I'm going to do it. And yeah, I see that for you. Of course, the NBA is an example, so take it however it resonates and apply that metaphor to your life. But yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to like this video. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I genuinely, so truly, truly, truly love you. And I'm so appreciative of you. Thank you again for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.